I'm watching it. All right, cool. We're live.
We're live. We're live.
What is
We're
up,
live.
everybody? Yes, we're live.
We're live.
Happy May
Really?
the 4th,
We are?
everybody.
We're live?
May the 4th be with you. Yes, Lane, we are live. Good thing Sean's not here because he would take that and run with it.
For the rest of the stream.
Happy May the 4th, everybody. It's so wonderful to be here with you all for our first late night stream, right? And I figured, maybe we'll make the stream a little bit later today. I wanted to kind of digest everything today. We got through the sideshow stream. So I figure, let's get through all of that, and then we'll talk about everything as we have time to digest it. Let everybody on the panel digest it. Let all you guys digest everything that happened today. Get some clear thoughts together. I know some people were angry and upset, so I wanted to give everybody a chance to think things through clearly, and then we're going to talk about it. So we're here now. It's so great to have you all here. I already got 15 people in, so thank you so much for being here, guys. We have some more people, at least one more person coming in on the panel tonight. But we're going to have a discussion about everything today, guys. We're going to talk about Darth Sidious. We're going to talk about Clone Commander Fox. We're going to talk about the figures that were released officially in Hong Kong. And, of course, guys, we are going to address the sideshow stream situation because, yeah, that's something we need to talk about. But we got a super chat already. So I'm going to read this super chat out because I very much appreciate you dropping a super chat. We're going to start this stream off right. But we got a super chat from my boy Mike. Mike says, "My dudes," the $2 super chat. Mike, thank you so much, my friend, for the $2. That is very, very kind of you. I very much appreciate that. And Mike, I'm gonna go ahead and pick one for you because you didn't suggest a specific one, and I think we need to have a little special message about your super chat from our resident Ghostbuster here. So.
Whew. Oh man. Hey everyone, Mr. Mom Collectibles. I'm just taking a second out from busting some ghosts. I want to thank you for your donation to Connor and to the Hot Toys Hotline channel. And just remember, if you got a ghost problem, who you gonna call?
Who you gonna call, baby? Thank you so much, Mike, for that. I very much appreciate it.
Was a pain to get out.
I know. I had to have you do it, dude. I basically begged you. And I got you. But
I would say you were like the cat ass meme, just going then plopping on your head saying please, like with the aftershave there or something.
Yeah, ghost fluids, I guess is what we're calling that. I'm not going to say what I was really calling it to Ryan, messing around with it.
Not family. We're going for family friendly.
Right, it's Star Wars Day. We got to be family friendly.
We're not under the influence today, so we're going to keep it PG.
Right.
Yeah.
All right, but I want to say what's up to the panel real quick, guys, and then we're going to say what's up to everybody in the chat. In the chat, and then we're going to get started. As always, we have Ryan here from Mr. Mom Collectibles. Ryan, thank you so much for being here. As always, especially during this late night stream, we switched it up a little bit, but thank you so much for being here, dude. It's great to have you. And thank you so much for that donation message.
Because he said he can't find the link. I'm sorry. Can you send it to him?
Sean can't find the link.
Yeah, I'm sorry to cut you off. I apologize.
No problem. But yes, guys, we have Ryan from Mr. Mom Collectibles. And of course, as always, we have the legendary Lane Kramer here. Lane, thank you so much as well for making time out of your day, especially during this late night stream, to come hang out with us on this special May the 4th day. And Lane, you can see we're surrounded by the special background that I yanked from Disney. Disney, thank you so much for letting me borrow this May the 4th be with you 2023 background. I very much appreciate that. But Lane, thank you so much for being here. I did just send the link over to Sean as well. So Sean,
you have almost the perfect facial expressions though here for how May the 4th.
I know the C-3PO I think was a lot of collectors today after we saw what was announced.
Well, I was going to say he's more neutral versus very unhappy looking Wookiee that might rip some Hot Toys arms off and go Harrison Ford on him. Maybe.
I think so.
But I will say it is really nice to be here, of course, with both of you guys tonight. Mr. Mom's had a busy day. But
much more calmer way to end the night, I would say.
Yeah, but it's been if any night we were going to do kind of a later stream just to see what happened throughout the day. I think May the 4th for us is like the best day, but it looks in theory. There we go. That the jolliest man in the galaxy far, far away has joined us.
I think
Denobi is here.
Santa Claus.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking. Denobi.
Denobi's on the stream right now. I don't see him.
Sean, it's great to have you here. Appreciate you joining us, especially on this late night stream. I'm just about to say what's up to everybody in the chat, and then we're going to get started, and we're going to talk about a lot of stuff tonight. I want to get rolling because we do have a lot of stuff, and again, we are starting a little bit late. But first, guys, I want to say what's up to CSI Grism. CSI Grism says releases were a fail, and Sideshow can suck it for the website crashes, and also no cost babies for the homie. Yeah, I was in the chat, guys, on the Sideshow stream asking about cost babies, and I got no love on my cost babies, man, so it's unfortunate. But thank you so much for being here, CSI. I hope you're doing well. As always, guys, we have one of our favorite moderators here, some guy in the chat. He says it's Thursdays with Hot Toys Hotline, the #1 channel on YouTube. May the 4th has been complete chaos, and that is very true. Get your popcorn, get your drink, sit back, and enjoy the show. We very much appreciate you being here, some guy, and it wouldn't be a stream without you, so thank you so much for tuning in. And yes, KTH, we are starting a late show today, as I mentioned at the beginning of the stream. I hope you're here with us still in the live chat. If not, I'm sure you'll be here soon. So great to have you here. I'm just going to scroll through and say what's up to everybody. We have Carlito early in the chat tonight. Carlito is saying, evening, gentlemen. Good evening to you, Carlito. I hope you're doing well. Thank you so much for being here. And Carlito's also asking Mr. Mom about the morning stream with Nate. Everybody wants to know about the morning stream with Nate. I got Niconic TV saying, rock on, brother. What's up, Niconic? I hope you're doing well. My boy, Boba Fettuccine in the chat saying, hey, yo, what's up, man? I hope you're doing well. Great to have you here. I'm really excited to talk about these figures tonight with you and talk about what's to happen hopefully in the near future. Hope you're doing well, though. It's great to have you here. Stevie Weeby already trying to drop spoilers almost in the chat. We had to get our boy Some Guy on it. Come on, Stevie. We haven't seen it yet. How dare you? Misfit says May the 4th was kind on my wallet. Yeah, you don't often say that. A lot of people are saying that. We have Joe P dropping the Count Dooku quote. I've been looking forward to this. I love it. I love it. And then Penn, my friend from the Discord, saying, I wanted the Cody premium format to step on me. Well, I don't know if you're able to get that, but I don't know if I would want Cody to step on me personally. And then Don here. Don just being the normal enabler that he is. We got Don Prime in the house. Don, I hope you're doing well. Don says, when you drop $720 on 3 Hot Toys on May the 4th. It sounds like, Don, like you got by that Sideshow mix and match deal. So congrats, and I'm sorry at the same time. Big Dog Pound is in the house. Happy May 4th to you, Big Dog Pound. It's great to have you here as always, bro. I hope you're doing well. Of course, we don't have Chris here with the belt, but I got to give you a big woo for Big Dog Pound. Thank you so much for being here, bro. I hope you're doing well. TX Boy's in the chat. TX Boy says, yo, what's up? What's up, TX Boy? Great to see you here as always, bro. I hope you're doing well. My friend Saloon is here. He says, first stream I've caught in a while. Good to see you, dude. Saloon is a moderator in the Discord, the Hot Toys Hotline / Star Wars Memorabilia and Lore Discord. So if you're not in it, there's a link in the description, guys. It's definitely a great place to hang out. Mark Palmer is here. Mark Palmer, I hope you're doing well, bro. Great to see you here as always. I love the party size Oreo profile picture. Very clever. And Matt is here, another one of our great moderators. He says, hello there, everyone. Many L's have been handed out to the collector community. Mix and match have helped alleviate the rage. And some. And yes, there's been some waitlist conversions tonight as well, so that definitely helps. 8-Bit Flea is in here. 8-Bit Flea, I hope you're doing well, bro. Great to see you here as always. And yes, 8-Bit, I think we do need to all hold hands and cry together. I think you're right. Let's see who else we got here. Yeah, nothing but W's for the Clone Wars fans. Yeah, I guess you could put it that way. That's for sure. We got Kaiju Daddy in the house. Kaiju Daddy says, hey-o, what's up, Kaiju? I hope you're doing well, bro. Great to see you here, as always. Penn said, I'm sorry you said that. No, I plan on reading it. Don't you worry. But yeah, guys, I think that's everybody. Also, we have Suka in the chat. Suka says, let's hope Revenge of the 5th is a catch-up day after today's mid-levels. Yeah, that's certainly what we're hoping for. Matt, actually, I believe 8-Bit Flea specifically, I think he got a waitlist conversion for the Clone Pilot today. 8-Bit Flea, you can remind me, I think it was you. I think you got a waitlist conversion for the Clone Pilot, which is pretty awesome. And then 16Junkie is here. 16Junkie says, what's up, fellas? I follow 16Junkie on Instagram. 16Junkie, I hope you're doing well. Great to have you here as always. Niconic TV, it's great to have you here, bro. Awesome to see you, as always. And Violet is here. Violet says, what's up? Happy May the 4th. Happy May the 4th to you. But I hope that's everybody. If I skipped you, I will see you throughout the chat, and I will say what's up to you if I see you. Also, Sid Vicious says, what's up, y'all? What's up to you? And yes, it was 8-Bit Flea. So yes, Matt, to answer your question, 8-Bit Flea was one of the lucky people today who got a waitlist conversion on his clone pilot. But guys, we're going to get right into it. Of course, we're going to start by talking about the Darth Sidious, guys. Now, this one, I got to be honest with you. We always make our predictions before these big events and things that we hope that's going to happen. We always talk about it. This one was not on my radar at all. Of course, we talked about a Return of the Jedi Palpatine, but this is a figure that I thought was somewhere over the rainbow. For those of you who don't know, this is the look of Darth Sidious from the Clone Wars show. If you have seen the Clone Wars, you know this is a very iconic look, especially in that fight scene between Savage Opress and Darth Maul, where he just basically comes in like a G and shows him who's boss, fights him 1v2, and puts them both down really easily. So I was really, really excited to see this personally. Was it what I expected? Was it what I hoped for? Of course not. You guys know me. I was really excited about the Return of the Jedi stuff. I kept talking about Return of the Jedi, which was a lot of us, of course, because it's Return of the Jedi 40th. But this one did not disappoint me, I'll be honest with you. I do think this is a really cool figure. I do think they included a lot of stuff for the price tag. I believe, guys, this was, what, $265, I think is the price tag on this one, which is surprisingly very fair. I think
with a $20 coupon if you have it.
With a $20 coupon, or, guys, if you get it through Off the Racks, he is live on Off the Racks, $15 off using my code. A relatively inexpensive figure. Oh, he's sold out now. Well, I got my order in early this morning, thankfully, for this one. But, yeah.
They're rubbing it in.
You're right. He does sell out very quickly, Lane.
When you do Off the Racks, does he take an NRD or do you have to pay up front?
$15 NRD for most stuff. If it gets super expensive, he does.
If you don't abuse it, if you have to cancel it.
And does he get his stuff like launched, like when it's announced, like right away? Or do you
pretty quickly. I was telling Lane earlier, I just got my invoice for the Purge Trooper that we're going to talk about later.
All right, so
he gets his stuff pretty quick.
Might switch up my sources, maybe. Might switch up my sources.
Yeah, and Matt asked a great question. He says, does this hurt the chances of Return of the Jedi Emperor? I mean, I don't know. Maybe the timing. Maybe it'll affect the timing. I don't think it totally crushes a Return of the Jedi 40th Emperor Palpatine because they have done it before. They could just basically reuse everything and it would still look fantastic. But I don't think it totally hurts it. Totally different look. Totally different look. I mean, in Return of the Jedi, it's a different sculpt. It's a different set of robes. He has the all black, like very elegant robes, whereas here, and of course, guys, this is also Darth Sidious. We have to remember that. This is Darth Sidious. This is not Emperor Palpatine. Two different stages for the character. Right. So, but truth be told, guys, I think he looks fantastic. I really do. I mean, again, this is one that is very, very unexpected, but I'm very, very pleased with how he looks. And I'm very happy to say, for that $265 price tag, before coupons and everything, both of the lightsabers are USB powered. So very good to see that the pricing is kind of equalizing and becoming a bit more fair, because it was getting really, really dangerous for a while. You guys know that. We were sitting here watching it climb, and we're like, damn, like, is it going to keep going? Is it going to keep going? Because this is getting a little too much. But thankfully, it seems like the pricing is equalizing a little bit. But I mean, guys, to me, and I'm going to move us around here real quick just so we get a better look at the sculpt. I mean, I think this sculpt is fantastic. And when you look at this sculpt, some people may say, like, it looks a little like the flesh tone's a little different than I would expect from Ian McDiarmid as Darth Sidious. But I think they are very clever in how they captured kind of a transition between an animated screen appearance and a lifelike appearance. I think this is fantastic. I think it's creepy. I think he looks gross. I love all the wrinkles. I think it looks fantastic, and I'm very curious to hear everybody's thoughts in the chat and on the panel. But this is a W to me, guys. Again, it's not the Return of the Jedi stuff that I was hoping for, but I do think this is really cool. So specifically for this Darth Sidious, I think this is pretty awesome. Ryan, I'm curious to hear your thoughts, because I'm not really too sure how sold you are on this one in terms of this version of Darth Sidious / Palpatine. What are your thoughts on this Darth Sidious?
I day one pre-ordered it with Sideshow today. So I had a $20 coupon. So I got, so this was, it was a surprise. I'm not a Clone Wars person at all. I do understand the version of it, so I'm not totally oblivious. I don't follow the show like that. So this is one of those where I'm one of the people that don't have a representation of this character of any sort. I don't have the Return of the Jedi Emperor, so Therefore, for me, I got it because of the representation, just to have it. It's still, I think, a really great figure.
Yeah.
I think it's the price is really great, especially since I used $20 on it, so I got it, like cheaper. I love the sculpt. Always can use a little bit of work. It looks a little more. I don't know how it's supposed to, but it looks very pale. Like I don't know how the skin tone is supposed to be flushed out. If it's supposed to be really that kind of pale, I know he's supposed to be going to like a more whiter tone. So, in terms of the stage of his kind of transformation, so to speak, I love the dual wielding lightsabers that are USB. So awesome.
Yeah, it's.
And to be honest with you, I think a lot. I mean, the sculpt is creepy looking, which I think it achieves the look it's supposed to. And to be honest with you, there's a lot of people are going to probably display this like with the hood up anyway. If they're going to, flip through. If you could flip through the photos, there's one photo that I really liked a lot. And the electrical's shorter, so I mean, it's different.
The cool thing about this one, Ryan, and I'm sure you saw it, the electric effects are actually built into the hand, so it's a
which we
separate
didn't. We
swap-out
talked
pair of
about that.
hands.
Remember, we talked about the Emperor having electrical in the hands for so that's pretty cool. And they made them shorter, the electrical, so they probably are still going to like bend after a while, but it's pretty cool they made them shorter because for people that want to pose it in this way, hopefully you get longer posability out of it. Not going to guarantee it, but nevertheless. But there's one photo I liked a lot with him with the dual wielding lightsabers. I was like, oh, it's so badass. I love it. Like even that's such a cool pose. That's so cool with him with the sabers out like that. But I got this sold on it, so I want the representation of him in the collection. It's too good to pass up, and especially the price. It's so cool.
And yeah, I totally agree. I think the price is very fair, and it just looks good, man. And real quick, I want to say what's up to a couple people, and then I'm going to make a comment about this photo here because someone actually already brought it up in the chat, and I was hoping someone else would kind of lock on to this photo here. I want to say what's up to Big Brita. Brita says, good evening, beautiful panel. Good evening to you, bro. I hope you're doing well. N1 coming tonight. Let's go. Well, Brita, you got a really strong prediction there, dude. I know a lot of us are hoping for it, and we're going to talk about part of the reason why you've mentioned that a little bit later in the stream, but I don't know. I don't know, man. I don't know. Don says Savage Press confirmed. I don't know about that. Dericus Maximus says, Return of the Jedi did not return. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
I'm waiting for that open discussion part where we can give our thoughts. I'm waiting for it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't want to get too into the Return of the
dude.
Jedi comments. Yeah, we're going to talk about the Return of the Jedi stuff. Don't you worry, guys.
I'm
Orlo's Workshop in the house says, woo! I love action figures of old men. Yeah, I think we always look forward to those, right? Because Hot Toys does such a great job. Big Dog Pound says the robes look sick. Yeah, they do. They look fantastic. I love the layering of the colors. And again, this appearance of Palpatine is totally badass. And Ryan mentioned those dual wielding lightsabers. And I'm sure you guys, if you've seen the Clone Wars, when he's dragging them across the ground and doing all those crazy moves, man, I'm so excited for this one. But this is the comment I wanted to bring up, and we're going to jump to you, Lane, regarding this comment. Of course, we're going to get your thoughts on this figure as well. But my friend David here says, David, I hope you're doing well, by the way. David says, glorious. I just picked up the Clone Wars Mall. Can't wait to add Sidious. Now, when I saw this photo, Lane, I'm like, and not only this photo, but this figure as a whole. Okay, well, there Lane goes. We're going to ask this question to you, Sean, since Lane just dropped out as I was asking him a question. Sean, when I saw this photo, when I saw this figure announced, I'm like, oh, crap. People are actually going to start buying this Clone Wars Mall now. Do you think, Sean, that finally, that though people have issues with like the long neck on this figure and just kind of the overall mediocrity of this release, do you think people are going to start buying this figure up just to kind of recreate that scene, especially with the anticipation of a possible Savage Press in the future? Do you think people are going to start buying this figure up now that people are seeing this Darth Sidious go up for pre-order?
I think it's 50-50. The reason why is, one, the right arm keeps falling out from it. You can't do a lot of the poses you can, because even though there's no fat suit in the upper torso, the way the shoulders are made, it's completely restricting to where you can do what you would want to. It doesn't have the same flexibility or movement as the previous Darth Mauls do. Along with that, it's not even the correct lightsaber for him. They gave us the one from the Phantom Menace, not the one that he actually had.
Yeah, he had a half a saber in the fight, and then he pulls out the dark saber at one point.
And it's just, even when he was fighting Ahsoka at the end of season 7, that's still not the same lightsaber hilt.
Yeah.
So they gave it. What they did is reuse the mold from the Phantom Menace. However, if you can look past all of that, and just instead of putting the part of the arm that will light up or whatever, where it goes around the elbow area, you're just gonna have to glue that in and just find a pose and stick with it.
I've been lucky with mine. I haven't had that issue personally, but I have seen a couple people mention it. I've been very lucky with mine. My maul had no issues when I got it. To be fair, I have left it in a similar pose for a while, so maybe that's why I haven't touched it recently. But
see, I had to create a pose to where Maul's basically holding his lightsaber and the left arm's basically supporting it.
Yeah, see, I haven't had that issue. That's interesting. I've not had that issue at all.
And I know I'm not the only one who's had the issue. And regarding the neck situation, though, if you pose it correctly, the neck's not a big deal.
Yeah, I mean, you can kind of certainly angle the head down to kind of mask the neck length for sure. I think it just all depends on how you pose it. It seems like a lot of people have a lot of faith in that Savage. I love to see it because Savage, that's like best case scenario, right? Again, because we have this Clone Wars version of Maul. We now have the Sidious. If we can recreate that fight scene, and me personally, I don't know about you all, but I'd have Sidious like smoking Savage. You know how he hits him with that back move, that smooth move when he whips the sabers behind. I don't know. I would have to recreate that. I really hope we do get a Savage, but I don't know. I mean, we know this already, Sean. Like, this doesn't always guarantee any other figures from the line, so it would be really cool, but it doesn't guarantee anything, unfortunately.
And if you look like all the clones that we've had, they've either been from Battlefront, which, for example, the heavy Clone Trooper, and then Commander Appo, the version of him and how he looks is basically from a Hasbro figure. The rest of them have all been from Season 7.
Yeah.
So this is the first time where, because of this fight scene and everything in this outfit that he's wearing is from Season 5.
Exactly.
Of the Clone Wars on Mandalore. Would it be awesome if they got us a Savage? Yeah. It would be awesome too if they got us Mandalorians, where he comes out of his shuttle and he starts choking them out before he goes to Darth Maul.
Yeah, he
That'd be
smokes
cool
him,
too.
and then he just slowly walks in like a total boss. And that's when he says, "How unfortunate you are attempting to deceive me." I love that scene. That's like, for me, that's like one of my favorite scenes in all of the Clone Wars. That's why this is really exciting to me. I love it. And guys, just a great comment here from 8-Bit Flea real quick. He says that he goes with Sideshow because the last 3 Hot Toys figures he had problems and they took care of it. Ahsoka came yesterday and Sideshow is sending him a new head because of nose damage. And yes, that's just a testament to always buying from reputable sellers. No matter who you buy from, make sure you buy from somebody who's reputable. So great thought there, 8-Bit, because we definitely always recommend buying from reputable sellers, especially with new figures. HG is in the house. HG is excited for Sidious. It looks like, what's up, dude? I hope you're doing well. Everybody's saying unlimited power. I love it. It's good to see, guys, despite all of the negativity that, of course, we're going to address later in the stream. It's good to see that people are still at least excited for this figure. Derica says the N1 won't make up for no Return of the Jedi figures. Yeah, we're going to talk about the Return of the Jedi stuff. Don't you worry. I see Doug Gambino is in the chat, and smoke him if you got him. I hope you guys are doing well. It's great to have you here as always. Good to see you. Happy May the 4th to you. But Lane, I'm going to pull up this video here while we're talking about it. Guys, believe it or not, if you haven't seen it yet, Sideshow did put up a little teaser. Yeah, they put up a little teaser, and I was really excited to see this. Let me.
You're talking about unlimited power.
Yeah, talk about unlimited power.
Look at those hands, man. I love the Force lightning attached to the hand. That's like cool.
Yeah, and this is like Ryan said, this is kind of something that we were kind of talking about. We're just like theorizing about what could happen with the Return of the Jedi Palpatine, and then here we go, seeing something similar with this Sidious here. So that's really cool to see. But it's really cool to see that that Sideshow was able to get a video of such an early announced figure. And I love these kind of droopy, creepy little hands that he comes with too. I think it's really cool.
That looks more like his hand gestures he was doing when he was confronting like Yoda and stuff in Revenge of the Sith.
Right,
and
it's just
everything.
like typical creepy Palpatine.
Yeah,
but I think it's done so well. And
Yeah,
it looks like these lightsabers. I can't tell.
They're light up.
Yeah, they are USB powered, but I can't tell here if they're lit up. I hope not, because I would expect them to be a little bit brighter than that.
Brighter,
but,
right? Yeah.
Um,
It looked like they nailed his hilt and everything just right.
yeah, it looks good.
His
I like
lightsaber.
they're not too thick. Like obviously some of the lightsaber hilts we've seen in the past are a little too thick. Real quick, Sean said he had a bit of a theory to bring up. Sean, hopefully it's relevant to the conversation. Sean, what's this theory you have, Sean?
No, it's about what happened today, so we can hold off until later.
Okay,
it's
so
not about this figure.
Sean's jumping the gun. Lane, back to you. Lane,
That's why I put it in the chat to not say something.
Okay,
out
I
loud.
was just double checking. Lane, back to you. Lane, what are your thoughts on this Darth Sidious?
I think the Sidious is an fair. I'm not as high on the head sculpt as you are. I'm more like 7.5 out of 10 here.
Whoa,
Like,
whoa,
I see the facial features and stuff.
Shots
in there.
fired.
Kick him out.
And like
Straight to
facial
jail.
structure and stuff like that. But this figure, to me, at least with the head sculpt, is kind of for me where you see the realistic style that Hot Toys goes for, kind of running face first a little bit into that. This is based off animated series versions of the characters, because I see the facial structure of Ian McDiarmid, but the skin coloration is like super pale, which fits for the Clone Wars animated version of him. He's paler in that, pre-Palpatine than how Ian McDiarmid was, like, say, in the prequels. So I think that's what they're going for here a little bit with the more realistic facial features, but he's like paler in his face and everything, like Sidious was when you saw him in the Clone Wars. So I think it's more the paintwork and how pale he looks is more what's throwing me off a little bit. So I see the facial structure. I think it matches up really well, but I'm not loving the head sculpt. I like it, but I don't love it.
That's
but
fair.
I can
Lane,
look
you got
at
the
it.
pitchforks in the chat already, bro. You
Yeah.
started us off early with the pitchforks.
Yeah,
like,
it doesn't matter. You guys can think whatever you want with this thing. That doesn't mean I think it, or okay, maybe Saban said it's a little too, like 7.5 to 8 out of 10. And but not every head sculpt has to be 10 out of 10 to make it. Like, this figure, for me, because half the time I would have the head sculpt covered anyway by the effing,
look at the
cloak.
detail, Lane, on the
Yeah.
hood and everything. How cool!
Yeah,
is
I know.
that?
That's to me, what makes up the difference for where I'm not like it's knocking out of the park. Head sculpt for me is the outfit and everything, the lightsabers and the rest of the full presentation. Like you were talking about with the hands and all that stuff, all of that is amazing to me. So I'm very much a person where the head sculpt doesn't have to be a 10 out of 10 for me if the rest of the parts of the figure and everything are really cool. Like, as much as say I like the Crow Mando with the Pedro Pascal head sculpt, I think the head sculpt looks fantastic. Yeah. Do I love the facial expression 100% that they chose to use? No, because it makes it somewhat hard to decide to put it in different scenarios or something instead of maybe a more neutral face or something like, I don't know, Wenwu has on his figure, which is a great head sculpt. But I love the smile. Like, the smile on there, I absolutely love. I love it. Like, that is Palpatine is like, this is Palpatine having fun because he's fighting these two guys. He's kind of not having to hide who he is or anything, and he can just let loose against these two. He doesn't have to worry about it. And he gets to just cut loose against them.
Yeah, like I said, I really, really love the scene in particular.
Do you like the base? I think the base.
Oh, I love the base. I think it's cool.
I know it's like the one. I like the base. I'm not like super in love with it, but I really like it, and I'm glad it's different than like the other Clone Wars we've seen.
Well,
like
Lane, the way I look at it is it does not have footprints and there's no sand. So
yeah,
we're moving in the right direction.
The one thing that I think would make this perfect is if there was an Empire insignia on the base, like printed on it.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Your head
to me,
sculpt isn't accurate, Lane.
I've never said I had an accurate head sculpt. But overall, though, I would say for the prototype, I would still give this would be like a 8.5 to 9 for me. The whole presentation with everything.
That's fair. I think that's very fair. And Lane,
I'm just saying.
Team
but everybody's on the head sculpt is this and that. I'm like, yeah, but there's the entire rest of the figure as well.
Right, and
the thing can have a fantastic figure, and I mean I don't know, the Ahsoka figure, you know, the Mando one, I think has a fantastic head sculpt, but the figure had some problem with like the art breaking off, you know?
Right.
And so I think they nailed the look, but like you guys would say, I would still prefer a Return of the Jedi one. But if you already have that one, this is fantastic for you because you get one which is more of kind of quote in his prime Emperor when he would actually, you know, black flip around and fight with lightsabers and stuff because he actually had somebody he had to worry about.
Right, because eventually Palpatine completely gave up on lightsabers.
Yeah,
so
well, because Vader was like the only guy who could possibly be a threat, and he just Vader's can get barbecued before he gets within 50 feet of him.
Exactly.
You know, the Force lightning is the thing that could kill him.
Exactly. Yeah. So this is really cool, guys. Real quick, I did put a poll up, so. I have a feeling this one's going to be very one-sided, but the question is, are you a bit let down by what we have so far for May the 4th? If we don't get anything else tonight going into tomorrow, are you let down? So I feel like that's going to be very one-sided, but definitely cast your vote. I have a comment here from TX Boy, though. TX Boy says, if you looked up at the opening of the scene, you could see the likeness. Nate, too, for one team. And playing almost the whole scene on his stream. Yeah, I'm not going to play that because I don't want to get demonetized or anything or get copyright striked, what have you. But yes, again, that scene is incredible. It's one of my favorites in all of the show. So I'm really, really excited for this one. Again, this one caught me off guard. I think it caught a lot of us off guard. I personally did not see a single person predict this figure, so it's really cool to see something different. Yomo said Palpatine carried May the 4th. Yes, he indeed did.
And anybody who might say, well, does this mean we're not going to possibly get a Revenge of the Sith Emperor? I would say no, because this is before his face is barbecued. You know? Yeah. So we still could get another Palps during that celebration, which will look different, even if the robes might sort of be similar.
For sure. But guys, we're actually going to move on to another figure. If I could get back to the Hot Toys Facebook page. Why, when I press X, is it going back? That's what I would love to know. Okay, here we go. So
because the page really likes you.
I guess so. So Suka says, kind of hard not to be disappointed when we have gotten 4 to 5 announcements for the past 4 past years. Well, we can't include 2020 because we only got 2. But we're going to address that. We are going to address that. I promise you guys. We're going to talk about the figures first. We're going to let you guys hear our thoughts on the figures, and then we're going to address that. But, guys, this is what really disappointed me. Am I happy to see us get a Fox figure from Hot Toys? Yes. But why did they give us the Phase 1? I'm extremely puzzled by this announcement. And the reason I say that is because, guys, we have the Phase 2 Coruscant guards in our collection. We've had them for a while. It seemed very obvious to me. The decision seemed like it was very obvious for Hot Toys to go ahead and say, cool, we're going to give them their Phase 2 Commander Fox to go with their Phase 2 Coruscant guards. They have not done that here. Does that mean the figure looks terrible? No, of course, it still has the same issues with the Phase 1 helmet. I'm very aware of that. So before everybody drops the comments about the Phase 1 helmet, we're all very aware of the issues with the Phase 1 helmet. It's not as much about that to me, though, because I do think overall the figure is really cool looking, right? And it's something that I'm interested in picking up. My issue is, why did they go with Phase 1? And if they were going to go with Phase 1, it's like they couldn't give us a swap out Phase 2 helmet because the armor's basically totally different. So they would have basically had to have given us totally swap out armor because obviously the Phase 2 has the basically almost all red armor with the white hits here and there. Kind of like the reverse of the Coruscant guards, more red than white. But it's very unfortunate they went with Phase 1, guys. I got to be honest with you. And the thing that kind of was like the salt in the wound for me was this photo right here. And the other photos that we have showing the Phase 1 Commander Fox with the Phase 2 Coruscant guards. It just doesn't make a lot of sense to me. I don't know who's breathing into Mike. I think it's Sean. It's showing... Okay, Sean's breathing again. What's
I
going
would say we're all muted, I think.
I know.
It's
well,
you,
Sean
actually.
got unmuted. I'm hearing myself breathe now. I don't know, but and I'm curious to hear everybody in the chat's thoughts on this as well. Like, are you guys as confused by this as I am? Because it's like, at face value, the figure is really cool.
I'm not.
So, Sean, to you, I'm curious to hear your thoughts then. To you, do you think this makes sense for them to give us a Phase 1 and then picture the Phase 1 Fox with the Phase 2 Coruscant guards?
No, this picture doesn't make sense at all. But you remember a long time ago, I told everyone, I think after they're done with Season 7, they're going to tackle all the Phase 1 troopers to make all the money off of the Phase 1, and then they'll start bringing the Phase 2 out. And I think that's what they're doing because it's a cash grab.
It is, but at the same time, like a lot of figures, they were able to give us both helmets and kind of satisfy both sides. Most of the clones, they were able to satisfy both Phase 1 and Phase 2. So my thought with this one, I would have hoped that they would have done something different to kind of be able to give us both looks, you know what I mean? So that's why, and again, it's weird. Why are they like kind of promoting it to go with the Coruscant guards that are Phase 2, you know? For a lot of people who are really into clones, that's like a huge like continuity issue in their display, you know? That's my thought on it.
But I can see them going back through, like there's a lot of clones that were Phase 1 that did not survive. They can go back through, do that. They could do fives and Echo before they become ARC troopers. Make cash on that. They can go through Captain Keeley, along with Commander Gree, for example, when he was Phase 1, completely different than Phase 2 from Return of the Jedi.
Yeah.
You know, so they could just do him alone that way. What was that, Lane?
You mean Revenge of the Sith?
Yeah, we're Revenge of the Sith.
Oh, he did say Lane.
Yeah, thank you for correcting me.
I've
been on the
Jedi on my mind. I didn't even notice.
We all have Return of the Jedi on the brain.
Yep. Thank you, Lane, for correcting me in my error. I appreciate it. No, it's fine. I made a mistake. But I think that's where they're going. They're going to go through Phase 1 and they're going to cash out as much as they can. And that's what I've always thought. And I'm cool with that. Because I'm sure within the next 6 months, we'll see a Phase 1 Coruscant guard, which is completely different than the Phase 2. Because the paint scheme and everything, different colors and different designs. So I could see that happening. I mean, look at all the Phase 1 we could do. You have Denal, where that's the one clone that Cad Bane killed and disguised himself as.
We got a sideshow figure of that at one point.
Yeah, you know, there's a lot of other people too and everything that they can go through and do. I would love like Captain Keeley. That would be cool. And his battalion and everything.
And you don't have to buy every clone. I mean,
yes, I do. Yes, I do.
I'm just saying. Well, yes, Sean, but you're going to have an entire room that is just clones by the 2027.
Oh, that's his plan. That's his plan.
Yeah, I know, but I'm just saying you don't have to. Hot Toys can put these guys out. You don't have to buy every clone. You can get certain divisions or certain characters or anything like that. You know, it's kind of stupid right now. I think the timing.
Dude, what language is he speaking? What language is that?
I want to say this, guys. So we have a lot of comments too.
I love you, Lane.
A lot of people are saying very lame on the Phase 1. Penn made a good point. There's a sideshow version of this, which of course was worked on by Hot Toys years ago.
It is more your problem, Connor. The timing of this more feels like it's not the figure as much as just the timing for this feels really weird because everything else has been Phase 2 or whatever we've had. You know, from Jesse to.
Or they've been able to give us both options. And again, I understand that Fox has a completely different look between, it's not just the helmet. So it's not as simple as a helmet swap. It's everything would have to be swapped. But it's like, I wish they were a bit more clever and maybe went that route. Maybe gave us swap out armor pieces or maybe gave us a second body.
Even if it didn't 100% make sense, do like they did with the regular Clone Trooper where they give you the Phase 1-2 helmet. It may not 100% make full sense, but That way you can have
the
either
red.
head
The
or
problem is
leg.
the red is different too, though, and that's the other
Yeah.
thing, right? That's the other thing when you're mixing this Phase 1 Fox with the Phase 2. The Phase 1, or excuse me, the Phase 2 Fox, the red on his armor is almost identical to the Coruscant guards, if not identical. So it would look much better.
And
with
he's
it,
got
you know what I'm
the
saying?
comma and some other stuff too.
Right here, he's got more of like that maroonish red color, whereas you could see we have like a true red on these Coruscant guards, and that's how the Phase 2 Fox looks. So my issue is, do I want to, because I do want a Fox in my collection, am I going to just say, like, you know what, they're going to release a Phase 2 eventually? I'm not personally, because I want a Fox in my collection, I'm not personally going to take that chance and just say, we'll get one eventually. I do believe that it's going to happen. I certainly do. It'll happen eventually, but I think for right now, they're putting a Commander Fox in front of my face, and it's like, I'm getting this one, you know? But it's just a bit unfortunate, guys. And again, I do think overall, apart from the obvious issues with the Phase 1 helmet, I do think the figure looks good. It's just I'm very puzzled by their choice of going with the Phase 1. That's all. And I know, HG, I know you're a big fan of the Phase 1, so you're like, oh, that's cool with me. And other people that are fan of the Phase 1, I'm very happy for you guys. It's just for me personally, you know. In my collection, 99% of my clones I have in Phase 2 mode, or like I call that sport mode. You know, I have with Crocs, I call it sport mode when they have the Phase 2 helmet. So most of my clones are in sport mode, right? So I got to have my Commander Fox in sport mode. But I think what I will do with this one, instead of putting him with the Coruscant guard, I'll throw him with the regular standard white clone trooper, because that one has the Phase 1 helmet on it, and I'll make it work in my display. Again, guys, I don't hate this figure whatsoever, so don't let me be a Debbie Downer. I'm just disappointed that they didn't go Phase 2. Or at least give us the option to go full Phase 2. That would have been cool to me. That's my thoughts on it. CSI is saying he thinks that Hot Toys purposely trolls collectors. And TX is making a good point here. I think a lot of people are missing the fact that Sideshow did this long ago, and they're just repeating certain figures and capitalizing on second market from those previous figures. Just my opinion. And yeah, again, Penn brought that up, that this figure's already been done before, also by Hot Toys, essentially, because they worked on this figure. So, but I do believe, guys, a lot of people are saying I think they'll make Phase 2. Eric, I don't know if it's going to be in the near future, but I could certainly see them. Like Sean said, they certainly could milk this, as they are very much milking clones. And maybe they'll go back and do the Phase 2 Fox. You never know. And Matt says, I don't get this. 5 figures last year for Attack of the Clones. Naturally, everyone is going to be wanting Return of the Jedi. And yeah, again, that's going to be the big topic of conversation after we finish up talking about these new announcements. Gambino, I hope you're right. Gambino says Hot Toys will wow us soon with a 2-pack of something in Star Wars for Return of the Jedi. I hope you're right, dude. I hope you're right. But before we read any more comments, or one more comment, actually, I want to say before we move on to Ryan's opinion. Sean says, guys, I think it's safe to say we're going to get most, if not all, the unique Phase 1 and Phase 2 clones over the next years to come. Hot Toys knows how popular the Clone Wars is. And I do think... from what we've seen, we could see that Hot Toys, the Hot Toys Clone Wars line is here to stay, and there's a lot they can do with it, right? So that is for sure. We have Ash Chase in the house, by the way. Great to see you, Ash Chase. I hope you're doing well. And yeah, 8-Bit is saying you won't see it for another couple years at least, and I totally agree with that. But Ryan, I want to hear your thoughts on this. Obviously, you may have not digested that deep down into it. You may have just looked at the figure at face value. You're like, I think it looks good. You know, I'm curious to hear your thoughts, because we haven't really talked about Fox much.
Yeah, I would say I'm going to give you the most generic answer possible.
That's fair.
It looks good, and that's it. I really don't. I will say I won't lie. I'm just not, like I said, I'm not invested like anything clones. I'm just not. I do like I like the coloring of it. I like the red. I kind of like the symbol on the chest. I'm being like very like naive about what I'm describing right now, but I will say the design of the character does catch me as someone who I'm not a clone person, or I'm almost like, it actually looks kind of cool. I'm just not a fan of like the clone helmet, like that kind of phase, but it does look cool to me for someone who's not invested in that much. I won't get the figure because it's funds. I could get something that's more catered to my collection, but it is a cool piece. Where as a clone, as a non-clone fan, I was just kind of like, oh, all right. I stopped and looked at it a little bit, but yeah, I mean, that's pretty much for me. I'm admitting throwing in the white towel on this one. I don't want to spend too much time on opinions that I'll sound like an idiot anyway.
That's
sound
fair.
like an
That's
idiot
fair.
I'll
Hey, I mean,
sound like an idiot on something else. So.
you know how it is. Not every figure is going to be your cup of tea or something that you're
Yeah,
personally interested in.
it is
So
a
that's
shame
fair.
though. I will comment because this is the one that was teased, right? The teaser that was going around days before, like a day or two before, like the leak photo. Is that what this figure was?
This was that leak, Ryan. So the one that we
Yeah.
saw the day before May the 4th, it was that
Yeah. So
literature being
that's I will
passed
say that's
around.
kind of a
Yeah.
kick in the balls that if I was that invested, it's almost like seeing the Palpatine and then that being it, and then that was it. Yeah, I could see it being kind of a kick in the balls because I like the surprise factor of like refreshing your Facebook page and like something pops up. I guess it's also still equally as shocking that like the leak came out and it was the figure. So I can
Yeah.
see it being both ways, but it's one of those that happy for those who are going to get it.
Yeah. I agree. I agree. Michael says Clone Wars 25th anniversary figures. You never know. I mean, they're celebrating a lot of anniversaries. That's for sure. And Euler says, I'm happy to go on record as saying having these as May the 4th announcements during the 40th anniversary of Return of the Jedi is stupid and dumb. Is you stupid or is you dumb? They are not bad products, but these are stupid to announce right now. And Jordan, that's really like the big topic of conversation right now, right? We got Sean back. Sean's back with us. But yeah, I totally get it, guys. I totally do. Again, I wanted to start with actually just talking about the figures because it's easy to get lost in we didn't get what we wanted, and admittedly I was a bit a little disappointed, and we're going to talk about why, but maybe there's a little glimmer of hope still left, guys. I don't want to get too much again, let's just get through the figures, and I promise you we're going to address that stuff. But I get what you're saying, dude, and I've seen a lot of the comments, so I totally hear you guys. But again, thank you for your thoughts, Ryan, and thank you for being honest because, that's what we try to do, guys. We try to be honest. Again, not everybody's a fan of clones and not everybody's heavily invested in clones. Sometimes people have only seen the movies, so some people may only buy like Commander Cody and other clones that we've seen in the movies, like Attack the Clones stuff as well. So,
or if they're really unlucky, they've only seen Star Wars: The Clone Wars, the movie.
All right.
Yeah.
Lane, while we got you talking, what are your thoughts, not only on the figure as a whole, how it looks, but what are your thoughts on the decision from Hot Toys?
This is a
Phase
weird decision. I have to say, when I seen the figure and stuff, I'm really intrigued by it. I almost kind of want to get it, even though I'm not like really phased. With the Coruscant Guard, I passed on getting those figures because I just focused. I decided mostly I was now. The problem is he falls kind of within the area where I considered. It's why I didn't like getting Attacking the Clones or anything.
Right.
I kind of decided I wanted to stay to named characters. It's like why I'm getting the Commander Appo with the Bark instead of the Heavy Ordnance Trooper with the Bark sidecar, other than it's bigger. Right. Leaving that part out too. But this guy's named. I absolutely love how this outfit looks, like the paint scheme and everything, just with how his front armor is and everything. I'm almost like, I don't effing care if it doesn't make sense with the Phase 2 armor. It's a Clone Trooper armor that looks badass, and he's got the same effing guns. He'll be there mixed in with a bunch of other ones who are different colors with blasters out pointing and looking like they're shooting clank.
Right, you could certainly make it work. Like I said, you could certainly make it work in your display. I think for me, again, it's just specifically... Yeah. It's like a little salt in the wound. It's
just
putting it with the Coruscant guards. I'm like,
the Phase 1 helmets, honestly, to me look kind of stupid with the commanders stuff on them and everything.
Yeah,
they just when you compare it to if you were to like pull out your Phase 1, like the regular just Geonosis, Battle of Geonosis Trooper, like the Phase 1s look fine on those, even though they obviously look a little big maybe or something like that in comparison to the body or something. This one might be more well proportioned. Who knows when it finally comes out? Right. I just think Fox is like a non-entity to me, even in comparison to almost any other clone trooper. I'm like, well, if we were going to do Phase 1, I don't know. Like you said, could we do Gree or Wolf or somebody else, maybe or something?
Yeah, and maybe they'll go through and make them both.
Yeah, but I think this guy was a perfect cheaper figure to put out. Where you had the name one was the Palpatine, like the Sidious. That was the big enchilada.
Right.
This guy, I think, is a nice, cheaper.
And then price on this one was what?
$225.
$225, which is very fair, guys. This is cheaper than Vaughn by $25.
Yeah. Now that's the one thing I would have said. I know you said it wouldn't make 100% sense, but if they made it, think about, we just had another trooper, the Scout Trooper Commander from Jedi Survivor came out, which is like literally just Scout Trooper with some extra stuff attached to it, some extra buck worth of plastic or less, 50 cents worth of plastic stuff put on him. And he's what, 240, I think. Ryan, are you guys running? Was he 240
for the new Stormtrooper Commander, the Scout Trooper Commander? He's 240. And real quick, little Kylo Ren collects. I know I missed you on last stream, bro. What's up to you? I hope you're doing well. Yeah, they were memeing in the chat last time little Kylo Ren came in. Apparently, I missed his comment. So great to see you here, bro.
I would have just the one thing I would say is, even if it didn't 100% match, so he's 225. So off the rack you can get him for $210, which is cheaper than a lot of older troopers from like the Mando season too. So I think he's a great value. Or if you want a clone but you're not like super into the Clone Wars, this guy would be a great figure because he's a cool looking one. He could be a representation of the Clone Wars in there for not costing you a ton of money.
Exactly.
The thing is, what if he was made 240 and they just had, even if it would have been a little overly expensive, if he was 240 and he had the Phase 2 helmet with it, I think that might have convinced people to, I think, honestly, this guy's going to have a super low production. I think he's going to go waitlist pretty quick because I don't think anybody's going to buy him the 501st Legion, the 501st Legion from Obi-Wan.
Yeah, again, the tough thing with this one, though, Lane, is you can't just swap out the helmet. That's the disappointing thing. Is it has to be all or nothing.
I'm not saying it would make 100% sense, but I'm saying if you included something like that, you could put the Phase 2 helmet on it.
Yeah, you never know. You never know. Some people might not care but it's the colors and everything. But real quick, some guy says, let's make sure we all smash that like button to subscribe. Yes, guys, we have almost 70 people in here and 24 likes. Can we pump those likes up for May the 4th? And subscribe if you haven't already. I'd very much appreciate it, guys. And thank you so much for being here, as always, and hanging out with us and hearing our thoughts on the craziness that was today, May 4th.
In all the ways, from within the community, outside the community, brought to us by retailers. May the 4th special.
Yeah.
He's a good. He is one that I would have if we were going on a scale of don't purchase to day one, dopo, basically.
Right.
He's kind of, to me, above he's I would have him at a level considerate if you had if you're anyone of a Clone Wars enthusiast, or if you're a prequel or a person or something, even if you're not a huge Clone Wars wide, but because of the price being $225, he's a nice value thing where if you're trying to even just fill in, eras of Star Wars where you want a figure or two or something like that. You're more an OT guy, but you want maybe a figure representing the clones.
Right.
He's a perfect standalone, because there's no other Phase 1 right now.
And again, for me, I'm probably just going to throw him in with my standard clone and call it a day.
I know. So he's a clone commander. Obviously, they didn't have a ton of the paint yet, but he can be in that. So I think for the price value, he's one that you can consider, even if you're not going to buy a ton of Clone Wars or other ones. He could be a standalone single.
Right, he's going to be tempting for the $225 price tag, but yeah, I agree. That's really all we have to say about it, guys. Again, I think it's a good looking figure. Yeah, Ryan said that's it. It's a good looking figure. I know a lot of people were sharing their thoughts, so I wanted to get everybody's thoughts on it. The next thing, guys, we're going to have a kind of an open discussion, and this, of course, was one of the.
Are you skipping over Sean?
No, Sean already shared some thoughts on it. Sean, I don't know if you had any additional thoughts on Fox, but it seemed like you basically said everything you wanted to say about the Phase 1 debacle and everything.
Yeah, but you actually never gave me a comment, a chance to comment on Fox.
All right, Sean. See, Lane. All right, we're going back. Sean, what are your thoughts?
Man,
I'm good. I already pre-ordered it. It's good. It's awesome. You guys said everything I think. Thanks, man.
Sean, for real though, do you have any additional? Sorry for skipping over you, even though I kind of only quarter skipped over you. What are your thoughts on Fox? What are your closing thoughts?
I actually like it. It was not expected at all. It's a complete surprise. But I'm surprised they went with Fox. If they were going to do this, I would think they would do it with the Crimson version of Commander Wolf when he was Phase 1.
Yeah,
I think if they did that first, and then Commander Fox, Commander Fox would be received better.
Yeah,
Because everyone
this
loves
is a companion piece for the Coruscant guards right now.
Right.
That's how they're marketing it. So I think that makes sense.
But anyways, no, I'm happy with it. I mean, now we can see that they've already developed everything for the phase 1 of Commander Cody's helmet.
Mm-hmm. That's true. Just a repainted version of this helmet.
Yeah. So, but I'm good. I'm happy. I pre-ordered it along with Sidious.
Yeah, like I said, it's one that I'm picking up, but again, in terms of fitting it into my current displays, I preferred Phase 2. But I do believe that we'll get it eventually. It's just a matter of time, which it could be a while. You never know. But all right, now we can move on then. Sean, I appreciate you sharing your thoughts and kind of giving us a bit of diversity on the panel, because it seems like we were mostly kind of thinking the same thing. But
you're welcome, Connor.
Thank you, Sean. Now, moving on, guys, to the Purge Trooper. I'm going to speed this up just a little bit. This is just kind of an open discussion, guys. And guys, everybody in the chat, I want to hear your thoughts on this as well. And we got Nate from Geeking Out in the chat. It's been a while since we've seen you, Nate. Nate, I don't know if I think you're at work at this point, aren't you? Unless you took off today, too. If you want to hop in with us, feel free, man. Just shoot me a message and I'll send you the link. Nate says Captain Fordo / the ARC Troopers would have been cool, but Fox is coming home. And I agree. Yeah, I mean, we're all kind of hoping, and I know Matt brought up Fordo as well. We're all kind of hoping for that Fordo, hoping that Hot Toys is thinking about us. Because so far, guys, for the 20th Clone Wars celebration, they're just kind of co-branding the Clone Wars items. So they're not really doing anything very specific to Clone Wars. So obviously a lot of us are hoping for a Grievous and stuff like that. So, man, I hope so. I hope that we eventually get some actual Clone Wars stuff and not just the co-branded stuff, but you never know. But yeah, Nate, like I said, Nate, if you're free, I don't know if you took off tomorrow too. Feel free to hop in with us. We'll guide you through. If you are on the Bacardi, like you're still on the Bacardi, we'll guide you through. Don't you worry. Derica says he's passing on the Purge. So I mentioned earlier in the beginning of the stream, guys, I did end up picking this one up. Big shout out to Lane, because Lane was the one that let me know, like, hey, dude, I think Off the Racks is going to be getting their Purge Troopers soon. I'm like, oh, crap, really? So I went and placed my order, and sure enough, here we are. Lane was correct. Lane let me know, and I'm very happy for that. So I did get my invoice this morning from Off the Racks, and Lane, I think you got yours from Sideshow with some other people a few days ago, right?
Yeah, mine shipped.
So yours shipped. So there we go. It seems like this is actively shipping then, especially if it's starting to come from comic shops as well. So I think that's really cool.
Yeah, I'm excited for this one, man. Like,
dude, it's simple. And again, guys, I know the elephant in the room with this one is that this is not the Jedi Fallen Order or Jedi Survivor Purge Trooper, and it's certainly not. I refer to this one as the little cousin to the Jedi Fallen Order Purge Trooper, because the Jedi Fallen Order Purge Trooper has that amazing electro staff and everything, and it's got that airborne style helmet. So I know, guys, I know this is not the Jedi Fallen Order / Jedi Survivor one, but I think it looks great. I mean, what about you guys? What are your thoughts on this? Do you think it turned out pretty good, considering it was a very quick turnaround time? I mean, believe it or not, people, this is a Kenobi release. We already have a Kenobi release, so that's really cool. But guys on the panel, feel free to chime in. What are your thoughts on this one? I think it looks great. Again, if we're looking at the prototype, I think they delivered what they showed us, and we really can't be upset about that. And he's very shiny, right? This is a very shiny trooper.
That was going to be a question I was going to ask you guys. Do you think, like, the Dark Trooper, you're probably going to want to use gloves when actually manipulating this guy on the armor to not leave fingerprints all over the place?
Yeah. This is a glove figure, I think, Lane. I think this is one where you put the gloves on. Yeah, Nate, they're roasting you, man. That morning stream, man, they're roasting you. They got the roasting ready. But Nate says, I wish I was hitting the Bacardi tonight, my friends. No Bacardi for Nate. Just at work doing the OT for the HT. Saw Guardians before work and can't wait to collect as many figures as I can. Nate, I guess you're probably grabbing 2 of each, right? Bare minimum. You're getting 2 squads.
Army building the army.
Yeah, exactly. Army building the army. But yeah, Lane, are you, being that you pre-ordered this figure, are you happy with the final product, what you're seeing here? Like I said, I'm pretty happy. I just recently placed my order.
Oh, yeah, this guy was a day one, I think, for me, or like within the first week. I think he looks fantastic. Now, do I like the helmet to the game version, which is, I think that's the biggest problem for a lot of people, because this literally looks like, I don't know, the Stormtrooper helmet had like a sword.
It's the Zerg Trooper. It's the Zerg
Yeah.
Trooper. That's what we're all calling it. It's the Emperor Zerg Trooper.
Yeah, I think he looks fantastic. I mean, it is mostly using pieces like, kind of the clone armor. I love the paint scheme. It fits perfectly, I think, with the whole idea that they serve under the Inquisitors. The armor looks fantastic. I think the color scheme is great, like just making it nice and shiny and stuff. Do I like it, say, more than, say, like the Death Trooper or something like that? No. Like, that's my favorite trooper of all
Well, yeah,
time.
that's one of the best trooper designs in Star Wars.
Well, I mean, the Death Trooper is basically Darth Vader if his costume was remade into a Stormtrooper.
Everybody's saying long live the Empire. I love it.
Yeah. The like little backpack and everything that they have, which I guess connected giving them air and stuff inside their helmet. I think it's
dude,
great.
it looks so good. And I love how red the lenses are, Lane. I think it looks really good.
Yeah, they literally kind of remind me almost of the Dark Trooper ones if they were more lit up.
Right.
I think that they really nailed this. The Kama has also got some wiring in it so you can pose it. It doesn't come with a lot of stuff. It's just the one blaster rifle and that's it. So you're not going to spend a ton of time. Now, the one thing it does look with this guy I think is great is that you can pose the shit out of this guy, like the clone troopers.
Yeah, he's got that cloth undersuit.
Yeah, so he's going to probably be one of the most posable Imperial era troopers we've had, or even sequel trilogy.
Yeah, and the armor, there's a lot of a gap in between. There's a decent amount of gap in between the armor, so I do think he'll be very posable. I do.
Like, is he an absoluteness? Now, the one other thing too is I do think it's nice is like you could just buy one of these guys. Because I don't know. I think we only saw like once in the entire Obi-Wan show, or more than one of these guys.
It was a very brief appearance.
They're supposed to be very few in number.
Yeah, real quick, I wanted to. Someone had a question, and TX Boy, great point. If we end up getting that Cal Kestis, which I think we will, this will still be really cool to put with that Cal Kestis. I mean, you can kind of make it your own, I see a lot of people saying hard pass, and I don't blame you. This is certainly one you could pass on. Big Dog Pound was asking, I don't know what just happened. That was weird. I don't know if it's, am I here for you guys still? Mm-hmm. Okay, cool. Because I just saw a weird loading thing going on. But Big Dog Pound asks, is that pleather? Big Dog Pound, I guess you're asking about the Kama. To me, it looks like Kylo Ren's cape material. I haven't confirmed that with anyone from Hong Kong who already has the figure. But it does look like Kylo Ren's cape, so not quite a pleather, but it's like a cloth with like a bit of a different surface to it. I'm sure that the pauldron is pleather because they usually are, but yeah, the Kama, I can't really tell. Again, it looks more like that Kylo Ren material to me, which I have no complaints about, but certainly the pauldron is pleather because that usually always is.
That looks cool, man. I like the mini backpack on the thing there. I don't know why. I just think the design for this trooper just really got me, even though, well, hey, one of them did come off as more of a threat than any of the Inquisitors. Drown Purge Trooper actually almost shot Obi-Wan a couple times, a lot more than any other Inquisitor.
Tuxedo
actually did to them. So hey, there's that.
Ryan, I guess you're not really interested in this wall. This is a pass for you.
Yeah, Big Dog asked me. I told him my silence is usually my tell if I'm getting a figure or not. Unlike Lane, who is the opposite, so I know he's getting it.
That's true. That's true.
And Sean's the wild card, but I'm assuming Sean's getting it, and he has multiples on his.
Yeah, Sean. Before we move on, you're a very much a trooper guy. You have a lot of knowledge about troopers.
I don't have this ordered.
You're not interested in this one at all.
Nope.
Oh,
no,
I know it's kind of the knockoff Purge Trooper. It really is. It's the knockoff version of the one that we all really want. I get it. Like I said, it's the little cousin. There's a little cousin of the Purge Trooper. For me, I mainly got this. I do think the design is cool. Again, not as good as the Jedi Survivor, Jedi Fallen Order Purge Troopers. I think it's cool, but also I got the majority, if not all, of the Kenobi line. So I just wanted to kind of pick up that whole line. But no, I get it. Trust me, I get it. So Sean and Ryan obviously aren't interested in this one, and that's very fair because most people are going to be passing on this one. So guys, we won't spend too much time on the Purge Trooper. I just wanted to show you guys this video and share our thoughts on it. But one that the other release and it's one that a lot of us picked up and is actually, I believe, at this point waitlisted everywhere. we did get our official release in Hong Kong for the B1 Geonosis battle droids. These are very exciting to me because they're actually a very good price point too. I think these were like $190 retail without any coupons or anything. Me personally, I ended up picking up 2 of these because I wanted one just kind of vanilla by itself, and then I wanted one with the C-3PO head on it because I just think that scene is so funny where the heads get swapped around in the droid factory. So, and here you actually have a shot of it here. And for those of us who have R2, who have been getting their R2s, the Attack of the Clones, we got a taste of what this head looks like in person. It's definitely, I'm going to be doing a review on that R2. The head is definitely a bit plasticky. Obviously, actually having it on C-3PO, there's going to be a lot of die cast on that figure, at least a considerable amount. So I think that won't really bother me as much, but I will say the head's a bit plasticky. But that is good, though, considering it is on a all-plastic figure, so I don't think it's going to weigh it down or anything because it's very light. But the weathering looks pretty fantastic on the C-3PO head, so I think you guys are really going to enjoy that in person when you end up getting these figures. Apifly, I guess you're talking about that Purge Trooper. Yeah, I think you may have a chance on a discount on that one, possibly. TX Boy, I think they actually did show the Tan Trooper on Stap today, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, they did.
I think they did actually show that today.
Yeah, they did show that.
So we're going to briefly go over those photos towards the end of the stream, but I think they actually did show that, yeah. Toybox says, I missed these, but I mostly want the regular tan droids. I will need to double the amount to do the number of clones I have. Yeah, I think most people know that they're going to do those tan standard B1 battle droids. So if you miss this one, it's not the end of the world, to be honest with you. But again, guys, it's just an open discussion. I just wanted to briefly share our thoughts because this is nothing new. It's just obviously we got the official release of this figure. I think it looks great. I'm very happy with it. I didn't expect that they would mess it up. Again, I really do think they did a good job. The weathering looks good. I think they look awesome here, kind of bundled up in their like pre-deployment mode. And it's really cool, and I'm very interested to see in person how wobbly that is, how stable it is, having them in this kind of crouched position before they're deployed. I'm just waiting for a crazy person to build like a massive battle droid carrier that you see in the Phantom Menace when they're all getting deployed. And in this film as well, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, we do see those carriers in Attack of the Clones as well. But this is really cool, dude. I mean, I can't really say much else about it. I think they look great. Obviously, we had those old Sideshow versions, but I'm not surprised that Hot Toys went through and kind of did their thing with it. I'm very excited to see how they are in person, and I'm very curious to see how brittle they feel because there's not much to them. You know, they're very skinny. They're very light, I'm sure. So very curious to check them out. And I see Rackaman Chris is here. Rackaman says, I would have been happier with OT reissues more than what was announced. Rackaman, we're actually going to talk about that very soon. Once we're done with this figure, we're going to get into that. But when anybody else on the panel, I know a lot of people have been interested in these battle droids. What are your guys' thoughts on these B1 battle droids, seeing these final product photos?
Yeah, I have 5 ordered. I'm excited for them to come in.
Only 5? Those are rookie numbers for you, Sean, because you have so many clones.
Well, you know, it's Geonosis. You know, just one battle for that color. Because when they would make battle droids, they would use the materials from where their factory was at for each planet. Yeah. So they're all different colors based off of the material.
Yeah. And Toy Box, real quick, I think that once we see the tan battle droids from Hot Toys, you may get your wish. Because obviously then people are going to want the Hot Toys one. But yeah, you make a good point, Sean. I'm guessing, Sean, at least one of yours has got to have the C-3PO head, right? You're at least going to do it on one, right?
Of course.
Yeah, you got to, man. I wish I had the space and the funds to buy 2 C-3POs so I could put the droid head on them, but that's too expensive. It's too expensive for me. You know,
you don't need that wall, dude. Just tear that wall down.
Tear the wall. But who's going to buy all the materials that I rip out of the wall? This isn't Minecraft, Sean. Who am I going to sell it to? You know, once I tear the wall down, it's got a hole in my wall, and I still don't have a second C-3PO. But it's okay because we got a Return of the Jedi C-3PO coming, and that's what I really want. Mike got 8 B1s. That's awesome, dude. I can't wait to see your display. That's incredible. Like, people like Sean who have an incredible amount of space in these larger displays, I can't wait to see people having just like a bunch of B1s and clones just battling it out. That's going to be like a dream display for a lot of people. That's going to be incredible. And Sean, I know, and because you make the point, I know that once you get those tan B1s, you're going to go all out and you're probably going to have like a sick display with them all battling out. And that's what's going to be like the bread and butter for all these people that are army building these clones. That's what people have been waiting for. That, and we got the super battle droids coming eventually. Like, come on now. It's going to be awesome. And I do think these look great. I really do, Sean. And I don't know about you, but I really do like this photo of them here crouched up. I just think I'm really curious to see in person how stable that is and how brittle these feel, because I've never had really much experience with the sideshow ones in person. So very curious to see that. But again, I think they look great, and I hope they're not brittle in person. That's my biggest concern, because you can't really tell that from the photos, of course, because you're just seeing it at face value. Coffin says no Emperor on throne. Dude. We did get Darth Sidious, though, to be fair. We did get Darth Sidious. So we're like mostly there, right? We're mostly there. Yes, Mike is a baller. He is absolutely a baller. But Ryan, did you have any thoughts on the battle droids, dude?
No, they look good. I missed out on them, unfortunately. I'm on the wait list, which I don't know if, probably not going to convert, I think. But I'm hoping to get another shot, either them on the staff or something like that, down the road to get another set. I just want to grab one or two of them. But yeah, unfortunately, they sold out too fast for me, so I wasn't able to get them. Definitely going to pick up a super battle droid. I know they're still available on Sideshow, so I'm kind of playing the game to grab one of those. But I'd love to get a second round at these, another shot at these, whether the staff or something else. So.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, and again, myself, I'd love to get a couple of the tan ones as well. I mean, I think 2 for me is kind of my limit because of space. I don't want to.
The tan ones, are they the same ones, just different color? Like, is there another version that's out, or?
Essentially, Sean, I think they're basically the same. Just
are they on Sideshow or no?
Right?
No,
they're not up yet. No,
they're not up yet. And then the one that's on the staff right now that they showed is also from Geonosis.
Yeah.
So there's 4 completely different kinds if you go off of all the movies and everything. You have this version here from Geonosis. You have the standard tan, which is a normal battle droid.
Then you have photos of that.
You have ranked battle droids as well, which those would be awesome.
Yeah. No, that's just from the movies. They haven't shown it yet.
So they haven't been released. We're just assuming they would make them. That's not.
We're assuming they would eventually make them.
Exactly.
And like Sideshow made them.
But the worst case scenario, though, I saw the one with this on the staff. I mean, worst case scenario, I could always get one of those if I want representation. I could get that.
Right.
All right, that's fine. I just want to make sure.
Ian says, hello, I am friggin' pumped for Palps. Really wish we got more announcements. Kind of odd there wasn't at least a new Chewie or something. Still hoping for a Droidica one day. Holy crap, Ian. Well, great to see as always, but yes, dude, Droidicas would be amazing. Be absolutely amazing. Because we see many scenes with our favorite Jedi fighting off the Droidicas, so yeah, I'd love to see it, dude. I'd love to see it. I would love to also see how Hot Toys would implement the shield that goes around the Droidicas. Probably that thin, like clamshell, cheap plastic that they use, but you never know. But that'd really cool. But that'd be really cool.
Iron Man shield incoming. Exactly,
Lane. That's exactly what we're gonna get. We're gonna get that kind of pressed Iron Man shield material. Yeah, I mean, and guys, now with the Mars Toys Oompa Loompas, we can have an Oompa Loompas versus Battle Droids according to Oiler's Workshop. Coffin, we're going to talk about that. That's going to be our next discussion after we finish up with these battle droids, is kind of what we foresee happening moving forward, not only from today, but
we're ready to go.
Yeah, I think we're about to get into it. We're going to move on, guys, from the B1 battle droids. Everybody has been waiting to have this discussion. I'm going to pull up this photo, and I want to give a big shout out to my friend Aries from Six Scale Cantina for pointing this out to everybody. But I want to pull up this question, guys, and we have a question for everybody here, and this goes for everybody in the chat. Everybody's asking, I've seen this popping up everywhere, is this it? Is there more coming? What's going on? I'm so disappointed. I'm so angry. What is Hot Toys doing, right? And guys, admittedly, me personally, you guys know, leading up to May the 4th, I was very, very confident in the fact that we were going to get Return of the Jedi 40 stuff, right? Like, I was very confident. I'm like, May the 4th, we're looking at previous years. Last year was all across the board Attack the Clone stuff. The previous year was basically all Mando stuff for the most part. So I was very confident in saying, I think we're going to get some Return of the Jedi stuff. I was very confident, and, I'm happy to admit that because it made a lot of sense, right? Now, I want to preface, before we move on to this conversation, do I think it's over for Return of the Jedi 40th? No. But I just want to say, a lot of people's questions are, why would they give us Clone Wars stuff when it's the 40th anniversary of Return of the Jedi. A lot of people were bringing that up. That's a big topic of conversation. People are angry. People are upset. People are confused. They're like, why have we not received any Return of the Jedi stuff for May the 4th during the 40th anniversary of Return of the Jedi? And to be honest with you guys, so far this year, right, this has been very atypical of what we've seen from Hot Toys over many years. That typically they go pretty hard on May the 4th. Of course, 2020 was an exception. We only got 2 figures on 2020 announced. I believe it was Darth Vader and the vintage Boba Fett. I think those were the 2 in 2020. So yes, typically Hot Toys does go pretty hard on May the 4th. But so far, guys, for today, I mean, you saw the 2 figures that were announced. We got two announcements, 2 releases, and that was it. So it left a lot of us very puzzled, a lot of us very confused, like, where's the Return of the Jedi stuff? I was really, really hoping for Return of the Jedi stuff. And this kind of plays into the conversation of expectations. You guys saw this in the thumbnail. Expectations versus reality. My expectations for May the 4th at this point in time have not been met. I was expecting to get Return of the Jedi 40th stuff. Now, does that anger me? I wouldn't say that I'm angry. I'm personally not angry. Am I a little disappointed? Of course, because I was expecting to get Return of the Jedi 40th stuff. That's what I had my heart set on. That's what made the most sense to me. Another thing, guys, that made me think that way was, why would they drop Vader and C-3PO so early? If they were only planning to do 2 today.
Did you just steal my idea?
No, someone actually said it in the chat earlier, so they stole your idea. But yes, we did talk about, and Ryan, I'm going to branch off into you because we had a brief conversation before the stream started, but why would they announce those 2 figures that early, you know? And Ryan made a good point to me as well. He was like, if they were going to do that, why didn't they just announce all the stuff in one day? And Ryan had asked me, he's like, Nate and I had this conversation. Why not, like, would you be as disappointed if Hot Toys said, hey guys, here's your Vader, here's your C-3PO, you get 2 Return of the Jedi on May the 4th, and then here's your Sidious, here's your Fox, and then you get two releases. And that kind of put it in perspective for me. I'm like, I probably wouldn't have been mad. I probably wouldn't have been upset because they gave us a variety of stuff, and that's all in one day, right? So I think what it is, guys, truth be told, is that we expected certain things to happen because of the breadcrumbs that we thought Hot Toys was dropping us, and it just didn't work out to what we expected. And I want to move on to Ryan because Ryan had some points to make about kind of the outcry from the community and the anger that they saw. And don't worry, guys, once we get through this part of the conversation, we are going to talk about this photo that we're seeing here because, of course, the question we're going to answer is, do we think there's more coming? But again, guys, that's my initial thoughts on it. Am I angry? No, I am not angry. But am I disappointed? Yeah, admittedly, I am disappointed. I like the Sidious. I love the Sidious. Do I think the clone's cool? Yeah, I think Clone Commander Fox, getting a Clone Commander Fox figure, yeah, that's cool. But it wasn't the Phase 2 that I wanted. So that just adds to my disappointment. But Ryan, I know you've been very eager to talk about this, and you were making some very good points to me backstage. So share with us your thoughts on this situation as a whole.
Yeah, I'm trying. Also, for anyone who's trying to Sideshow's website, it does look like it's completely down. The website's like not working.
Round 3, huh?
Yeah, because people were commenting in the chat and kind of all over, like, is the site down? I mean, I'm just trying to reload it right now, just to browse, and I'm not getting through it. Yeah, so chalk up another win for Sideshow Collectibles and their fantastic
Number
website.
1, baby, with a bullet.
Yeah, they're just hitting home runs left and right as a company.
Can't imagine why PCS tried to start selling some of their exclusive stuff to their own website.
I'm gonna try to.
It's working for me right now.
Well, you're just amazing, Sean. I don't know what can I say.
Hey, thank you, Ryan. I appreciate that.
So
reality is often disappointing.
And honestly, what's really crazy is, like, you know, you wake up. I just got to tell you. So I stayed awake. Connor, I know you and I, we're going to stream at like 4 o'clock in the morning.
We were ready, Ryan. We were ready to go. 4 a.m. We're like, dude, are we doing this? I'm like, we're doing this.
You know, I have to wake up. You know, like, are we doing this? Like, are we really doing this? Are we still doing this? You know, so by like 12:20, we got basically what the releases were. You know, they did a double drop by like in the first 20 minutes, and then you're waiting. You know, Nate's drinking, waiting. You know, everyone's like, and nothing happened. And it's like, all right, it's okay, whatever. And then you kind of the reality sets in, and I gotta say, man, these are first world problems, aren't they? I mean, we're talking about toys. Like, oh my god, like the world's come. I mean, if you wake up the next morning and people were out there ready to like burn the cities down because, like, you know, they didn't get the toys that they wanted. I mean, I'm not trying to shame anybody, but I will say this. I was more disappointed in the community overall today than I was with Hot Toys not releasing said figures that I was hoping for. And I'm sorry to say that, but I am very disappointed with everybody overall. And I'll tell you the reason why. And I'm not trying to sit here on my high horse. I'm not going to be that, you know, it's too soon to be I told you so, because frankly, nobody saw this coming. I don't care what anyone says. Anybody out there is, oh, lower your expectations. Lowering your expectations are like, I expect 5 figures instead of 10. Okay. Saying that you're not going to get any Return of the Jedi, that's surprising. You know what I mean? Like, nobody said anything about we're not going to get any Return of the Jedi. People were like, oh, we might get 3 to 5. Like, I always said 3 to 5. You know, Nate was like 10. People were like 8. Yeah, I was conservative in 3 to 5. I was shocked that we didn't get any Return of the Jedi. However, you know, listening to everyone piss and moan all day, there was a lot that was more extreme than others. It's okay to be disappointed. It's completely fine. I was disappointed. I was hoping I'd have like 4 or 5 POs today. Like, honestly, I had Palpatine, but you know, the problem is that, like, you know, I was watching live streams. I'm just like, I couldn't watch anything because it was just like the negativity was just like, listen, guys, I just want to say, where is there on the calendar that May 4th, just because it's Star Wars Day, is meant to be guaranteed that we're supposed to get crazy drops from Hot Toys? Where is it advertised from Hot Toys that, hey, expect this May the 4th, we're going to blow your minds away? It's not. It's just coincidental that the last couple years, like last year, we got good stuff. The previous year, we didn't get good stuff. Yes, there's, you know, expectations, I think, have to get kind of reset a little bit. And the reality is Hot Toys reset them today. You know, the fact is they treated today like a regular Thursday, and people are not happy about that. This was a regular Thursday release. I get because it's May the 4th and that's Star Wars Day, but that's not Star Wars Hot Toys Day. That's different. That's just Star Wars Day. And that's what I think people are kind of like upset about. And like I said, it's okay. And they'd be negative. I'm just trying to be, you know, the reality. You can say I'm being negative. It's what the reality is. Now, here's the thing. People forget we have 7 months left in the year.
Real quick,
that's what
Ryan,
it is.
I don't think he was directing that at you.
Oh, okay. Negative. Okay. I'm sorry about that. Eric, I apologize.
Goes along with what you were saying.
No, I apologize about that. I apologize if you're calling me negative or whatever. The fact is, we have 7 months left in the year. Just because we didn't get stuff today, it doesn't mean that we're not going to get stuff throughout, trickled out. And Nate, I'm sorry, Connor, I tried explaining. This is, and I don't mean to like steal, and I'll pass it on. But if this year is any other year, this was absolutely the final cherry on top of the cake of basically Hot Toys being so unpredictable and that nobody can predict it. Okay, what I mean by that is, look at She-Hulk. She-Hulk comes out, okay? We heard nothing from She-Hulk as the show. We get Daredevil announced, what, a month or two later, teased, and then released. And then we got She-Hulk, right? Completely off, like it came out of nowhere. John Wick, they were teased. I know the photos got pulled down for whatever reason, but we got nothing from John Wick. Andor, we got nothing from Andor.
Not a peep.
Not a peep. Mando season 3. We didn't even get a tease of like a blurred out photo of somebody. You know what I mean? We got nothing. So it just goes to show you that something's going on in the background that no one can predict. And they're just, and look, and now this was the final straw that we didn't get anything from Return of the Jedi on May 4th, even one figure. You know what I mean? But the reality is it's a process, and that we have 7 months. And I told you this backstage, Connor, if we're December 31st and we're at the end of the year and we still don't have Return of the Jedi, then let everyone go burn the city. You know, grab your pitchforks then. But the fact is, it's a patient hobby, and I understand people are disappointed. But at the end of the day, man, it's not a big deal. Like, I think they're going to come. You know, and I'm not trying to make excuses, but history has shown this year Hot Toys has been very unpredictable with stuff. I know we have itchy fingers. Like, don't be wrong, dude. I wish I had 5 POs
like
now.
Ryan said, we were all ready to drop.
Yeah, I was ready to pee. Trust me, guys. At the end of the day, I would have rather have been listening to people talk about how upset they were that like the Luke Skywalker head sculpt didn't look like him. But but now we're still upset about people that we just didn't get. Like, I'd rather be talking about the figures that we did get versus the ones we didn't get. Like, that's why, Connor, how many times I say to you, like, I was so tired of these speculations, like, oh, top fives and all this stuff. I just want to talk about the figures that came out. Right. And yeah, it does stink that, like, you know, this is what's going on. And like Oilers is hitting it, man. Global recessions, banking crisis, and stuff like that. A lot of this stuff is taking into account that I don't think people are realizing. They're just looking at, like, last year we got 5 or 6 awesome figures. We should have got them this year. But like I said, May the 4th and Hot Toys, they're not officially tied together that, like, we're guaranteed something. And Hot Toys reset our expectations, and they treated it like a regular Thursday release. So we still might get something tomorrow. You know, like they skipped over TMS 100 and 101. That could be the N1 and N1 with Grogu. Who knows? Like, we don't know. But I just think that we have 7 more months in the year. We get Return of the Jedi. We get some Mando. And, you know, I think we look back and...
Hot Toys Facebook did update with a signed book done by Katie.
Yeah. Yeah, so guys, for those of you that don't know, I'll pull it up later after we're done with this discussion. But yeah. Hot Toys just posted a picture of the first Bo-Katan figure signed by Katie Sackhoff. So, of course, they just opened themselves up to a lot of trolls. So I can't wait to read those comments. But Mr. JB's kind of making a comment here about May the 4th and kind of expectations, guys. Because, again, this segment of the stream is about expectations versus reality. Mm-hmm. And guys, you kind of have to partially take your fan side out of it. And you guys know I'm a crazy Star Wars fan. I'm that dude. I'm obsessed with Star Wars. I got Star Wars all around me. And just like a lot of you do. But Ryan makes some good points there. At the end of the day, you have to think about it like it's not the end of the world. It's disappointing, but Return of the Jedi 40th is 100% not off the table, not even in the slightest amount. You know, Hot Toys certainly has plans to do, I'm sure, plenty of Return of the Jedi stuff. We just didn't get it when we expected it, and that's okay. You know,
I think that the collectors as all had I think we had too high. I say we because I'm involved too. Connor, you're involved. Lane,
right. My expectations were way too high.
We had expectations of something today, and we did not get it. But at the end of the day, I'm not grabbing my pitchfork and saying, "Oh, I'm canceling all this stuff. To hell with this, bro." Like these are first world problems. I know these are expensive figures that we're investing money into, hundreds, thousands of dollars per year. I get that. But it's still like Hot Toys is doing they're marching to their own beat of their own drum, and like all these predictions and stuff, they're just gonna do them, man. Like they're gonna do them. They don't care about the top. They don't care. Obviously, today it proved they don't care. May the 4th was a big deal. That just proved it. They're gonna release the figures on their timeline, not the timeline we expect them to. That's probably the best way to put it.
Yeah,
they hit my expectations.
No, here's Lane. Here's real quick, and I'll pass the buck to you. How about that? I'll transition to you, and then I'll shut my mouth because I think people are done listening to me talk. But like, here it goes back to what Nate, because Nate was the one who did bring it up on the stream, and we talked about it off. It is weird, and this is where I want to see where these drops happen. Why did we get Darth Vader? And this is Nate asking this, not me. Why did we get Vader and C-3PO in April? And now we got, you know, I'm just interested in the timeline. Like if we start getting Return of the Jedi stuff this month, then I'm like, all right, then it's no big deal. They got those 2 figures out of the way. But if we really don't get anything for another few months, it is very weird why they released those 2 figures a month before. And then it's like, you know, it's just very strange to me, the release on it.
Real quick, I want to address this comment real quick. So Derica says, no offense to anyone in the room, but a lot of the hype for new figures is due to content creators on YouTube. And Dericus, yeah,
he's right.
He's 100%. No, Derek's 100%.
Right, and we acknowledge that. I acknowledge it that before I started talking, I had expectations for Return of the Jedi, and I shared that with you all, right? And you know, part of being a content creator, I just call myself a YouTuber, guy that films videos, but part of doing that is you put yourself out there, you put your opinion on record, you put your thoughts on record. Sometimes you're right, sometimes you're wrong, and you know, I pride myself in saying my predictions are relatively close to what.
But Connor, I'll challenge you for a minute, and there's nothing against you. When you say your predictions, all the streams that I know, I'll say it for myself and you. We were all just on streams where it's like, yo, we're excited. What are your top 5 figures you want to see from Return of the Jedi? We weren't sitting there saying, hey, I expect this figure to be announced on this date because of the analytics.
Right. We know exactly. It's just predictions for the year, of course.
Yeah.
When we're
and in terms
speaking
of
about
like,
predictions
exactly. And then like content creators, that's fine. Like the one word I despise is influencer. I despise that word because no one should ever let anyone influence you in making a decision. If you allow other people to influence you, then I hate that word, influencing. But no,
I understand. That's
Derek
unrealistic, though.
Derek is.
I
give credit to Derek for calling it out the way it is. But I will say though, to give a little bit of pushback, the only streams that we were on, because I can only speak for us, Connor, you and me, is like, hey guys, we're doing like a top 5 like wish list. Like I'll wish for anything, man. If you tell me a wish list right now, I'll wish for the most absurd stuff. But I know that's not what I'm getting. You know what I mean? That's different. That's like asking for stuff on Christmas, and then it's not a big deal. But we're not sitting here predicting stuff like, hey, this is dropping because the past history, the shows. We're not doing that stuff because I don't care. No one can do that. So
right.
Wish list and predicting, it's a little bit different there. We're just having fun, guys, talking about it.
What I think is going to happen, if you guys have seen Harry Potter, Hot Toys is going to be like Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 2 when all the Death Eaters and Voldemort, they're all just chilling, they're cackling, they're laughing. Harry Potter's dead, right? So Hot Toys is Harry Potter in Voldemort's arms, right? And he's going to jump out, come back from the dead and say, bam, here's the Return of the Jedi announcement you guys were hoping for. So it's like, it's not over, right? It's not over. And Derek, fair point. Again, part of being somebody that goes on a live stream, we share our thoughts with y'all. We're fans just like you guys are. I don't have any special inside info on what's being announced. Again, we just make our predictions based on what we could see happening. The Return of the Jedi 4 stuff is not dead, though. So I just really want those, especially who are newer to collecting, I don't want you guys to think like it's game over. We only got Vader and C-3PO. Done for. End of the line. You know what I mean? I don't want you newer collectors to think that because that's not the case at all. It's just we didn't get it all on May the 4th, and it's not the end of the world. Again, you could be disappointed. That's a very fair thing. Again, I'm a little disappointed, but I'm not angry, because I got plenty of other stuff I got to pay for, and I got plenty of Return of the Jedi 4 stuff to look forward to. But Lane, I'm very interested to hear your thoughts on the situation. I know you came in with some more realistic expectations, which
I thought we were going to get 4 releases in some form, 4 to 5 releases, some form or fashion. We got them. We got 2 new pre-orders and two figures released for May the 4th. Was it what we wanted 100% possibly? That depends on what you were looking forward to. Ryan makes a good point though. We can never figure out half the time why stuff is getting announced when it is. I mean, we're looking directly at the 5th brother and the 4th sister. Obi-Wan's been over for a year now. Why would you announce these figures maybe, let's say, in July, that long afterwards? Is like, how many pre-orders do you think you're going to get on him? Isn't the hype or whatever over with or stuff? But I think now you guys would know better than me. But didn't the Empire ones even get announced kind of like not actually in the 40th year or something? Some of them, didn't they? Or they took forever, like the Luke took forever. You were well beyond the 40th anniversary by the time it actually
that Bespin Luke, dude. I mean, everybody lost faith in that one. I'm just sitting back like it's coming. It's coming. Yeah. There we go. 6 to 8 months later, there he is.
Now we might think as fans or just in general, we might say, and and sometimes Hot Toys just as a business has tons of how many figures they have to worry about that are being made, that are they ready to get blogger pictures to be announced? And then, I mean, we make a big hype about certain figures for certain property, but Hot Toys is already thinking about 2 years ahead about what they're going to be doing or something, or planning for how are we going to make stuff. Because, they're in that never-ending chain, not including also Marvel and whatever else, now. And with other world economics, that could be affecting things too. Yeah, well, let me ask you.
First world problems. Like I said, first world problems.
Yeah.
Real quick, guys. We have a $10 super chat before we continue. And then, by the way, Austin Nicholas, great to see you, bro. And like Austin said, there's nothing wrong with making predictions, And again, Derekis, thank you so much for addressing that, because I have no problem admitting where I'm like, I went a little too crazy with my predictions for May the 4th. But Rackaman Chris, thank you so much, my friend, for the $10 super chat. Before we read your comment, we got a special message here. from our favorite UPS guy. I know a lot of people love this one, so we got to do it on May the 4th. We got to do it big, right? Shout out to my boy Collecting Manus. He's not here. He's on his honeymoon, but here in spirit, and he has a special message specifically for you, Rackaman Chris.
Now, son, you make sure you get them hot doors packed in there.
Super chat.
What's that?
Super chat.
Oh. Hey there. Heard you gave us a super chat. Well, Hot Toys Hotline and I just want to say thank you very much.
So yeah, there you go. From our favorite UPS guy, as some guy.
Is that doubling as like a recruitment video for UPS drivers?
Yeah, if you guys want to be a fellow
like,
Gold Shield, hit up Chris.
It's like this is what UPS drivers are like, so you know you should definitely aim for that. There.
And Chris also fits in most overhead storage bins as well.
There you go. So he's one of our short kings. That's what we call Chris. He's our short king. But real quick, let me address the comment here. Once again, Rackaman, thank you so much for the super chat. Rackaman says, I'll keep pushing for an Admiral Akbar /9 Nub 2-pack with the hope that sooner or later someone with the authority will see it and make it happen. Someone at Hot Toys has to be watching. And hey, dude, I totally agree with you. You gotta really shoot for something that you're hoping for. Like I said, I mean, we joke around about the Mace window and stuff in the past. You guys know that was a meme for us for the longest time, but it's like when you have faith in something. Well, yeah, Mace Pancake, exactly. When you have faith in something, you know, if it's not too ridiculous, you know, not completely out of the ordinary, you know, nothing wrong. And I like this comment here from City Rider. He says, "Hey, we all could dream, can't we?" And that's what we're doing, right? We're dreaming. We're giving we're fans at the end of the day. We're hoping for stuff. It's really exciting because obviously Return of the Jedi 40th is a big deal to a lot of us. So we're all dreaming. We're all dreamers. We're all sharing our thoughts and expectations. So yeah, totally agree. And once again, Rackaman, thank you so much for the very generous $10 super chat. I very much appreciate it. And keep dreaming, my friend. Don't let go of the hope. I don't think those are unrealistic expectations for figures at all. Keep dreaming, my friend. Thank you so much once again.
Here's what I would say too. Now, I would push back a little bit at Ryan with some of.
No, you can't push back on anything I said.
I'm
Go ahead, Lane. Fire away.
Where I agree sometimes with our creation of expectation, but I would also put some of this on Sideshow, and some of the retailers and stuff like that who. You know, they're putting out that like 10-minute video about all the effing Hot Toys that are coming, which we're looking at 2 of them that were in one of those short videos that were all strung together. And these figures haven't been announced. Like, we don't know. These may still never come out. So they play a part too in building up the hype to anticipate. Now they're trying to do for sales whatever they already have in stock or whatever. So it's a different motivation maybe for that second. But they are part of that cycle too for helping to create.
Well, I think also Sideshow is trying to. I think if I had to take a guess,
get rid of their stuff.
Well, I think they're also trying to reset their expectations because they came out of 2020 overbuying a lot of stuff, you know, with you know, the issue with the pandemic, and now they're trying to learn from those mistakes and trying to recalibrate their quantity levels going forward and figuring out what's the right amount of stuff to buy so that way they're not stuck with overstock. So yeah, they're probably hyping stuff up too because they want to sell the crap just so that they're not and they want to get POs.
I understand, but they're part of that too.
Idea of what to turn and burn, so to speak. So yeah, I can understand that.
Real quick, so Euler says, "What can the Brown do for you, Lane? What can the Brown do for you?"
Nothing too much, except just try and get.
Hey, Trevor. Good to see you, Trevor. 1-6 shooters in the house. Everybody, check out 1-6 shooter when you get a chance. Good to see you, bro. And Lane, a bold prediction from Trevor as he's coming in tonight. He says calling Cal Kestis at 12:15 a.m. I hope you're right, dude, because a lot of people, including Penn, the resident Cal Kestis simp, would be very excited.
We are what 30-something minutes away from midnight. Do we just try to keep this going to midnight and just see what happens?
I mean, I'm in.
We just roll with it.
Strap in, everybody. Everybody, strap in.
I know we have 77 people watching right now.
Well, we got Sean's next. So Sean, you know Sean's. All right, guys. I promise, Sean. I've been covering Sean's face. I've been covering his face. Lane, did you have anything else to say before we move on to Sean and I uncover his face?
Yeah, well, I mean, that's the best luck he's had all day today. But I will say, I mean, he's just a normal spot I am. So I guess I would just say with how we should feel with the expectations. It's, you know, as we've talked about, it's okay to get hyped up for stuff. I don't think it's a terrible thing for all the different lists and this and that. Now, the sort of negative reaction we've seen to it and everything, I think that's just where people are fans at the end of the day, and part of that is fanatic. So you're going to get yourself hyped up. It's, when the Boston Bruin fans watch their Bruins flame out in the first round or something, and I knew someone in Boston, and he was pretty mad, like crazy angry the next, that Monday, this past Monday, like absurdly angry. And I was like, why are you so mad? Well, you have that investment in it. So yeah, I give a little bit of a pass for how people are reacting just because of an emotional investment, especially for longer time fans. I agree with you guys, though. We still did get some stuff. Maybe I think you have to. I think the big thing is a course correction. Would maybe with the term I used is have an expectation for something getting announced or audition hot toys that they're of getting something announced or something. But I mean, a couple of years ago, we just had stupid blurs. So it's not like this is the first time we've had this happen.
Yeah, a lot of people weren't too hyped on those blurgs.
Yeah, I know that they were cool because they were a unique thing. We didn't see hot toys, but it was Quill and the Mando, which we already had one, and not the first creature we would like to see if we were going to see it. People would have said Dewback, Tauntaun, or whatever. There are a lot of different things that they would have said over that thing than the blurs is the first creature. But so I think Ryan is right where we got maybe not getting excited. Maybe it's about not getting so hyped about something specific we'll see, no matter how much we're almost like, well, it's got to be this because of blah, blah, blah reason, It's, Mando season 3. Why didn't we get some Mando? Mando season 3 just finished. Why aren't we having 3 Mando things announced tonight? Or, because it just finished within the last 2 weeks. So, much as Return of the Jedi with 40, that's a movie from 40 years ago. I would have said, well, Mando's brand that whatever we think of season 3, that has been the Star Wars hotness from the last 5 years. Since Rise of Skywalker.
Yeah, they really rode that wave. That's for sure.
Why didn't we have 2? I mean, they did what, 40 figures or 50 figures from the line? That's the most they've almost ever done.
It's one of the most complete lines they've ever done. And Jeff, maybe you never know, Jeff. You never know. But yeah, great thoughts, Lane. Great thoughts.
I would just say maybe adjust what you think is going to come, but expect like I said, we got 4 figures.
Right. There's what you're saying, Lane, is there's still a little hope. There's still a little hope moving forward. Well said, Lane.
I am a man of 1,000 thoughts coming out in 5 different directions.
And I still don't know what he said.
It's all right, dude. We still love you. TX Boy says, just remember the rebellion was based on hope. Had hope, and it picked up for a second Coruscant guard before Fox released. Not the colorway I wanted, but I still got
Unless
Fox.
You were trying to win that Jyn Erso this
A New Hope. Yeah, exactly. Unless you were able to get that Jyn Erso today.
Sank away.
Yeah.
All right, Sean's patiently waiting.
All right, Sean, guys, we're going to officially unveil for the first time Mr. Hot Toys Nightmare.
Dun, 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 dun.
Sorry, Sean, we had your face covered
everyone.
with the question.
It's okay. All right. So there's a lot of blame going on, everything else. A lot of people are disappointed, and I understand that. A lot of people are angry. But if you really look at what's going on today, I think it's more Disney's fault because it's a licensing issue more than individual companies. So, for example, Kotable Kia only made 2 announcements today, and they usually make more than that too on May the 4th. Sideshow only did 2 art prints, and that's it. Hot Toys only made 2 announcements. So 2 is going around there. Hasbro, I mean, they did more than 2, but that was incredibly light compared to all the other years that Hasbro's ever done anything for May the 4th. All that stuff together, looking at that, I'm not looking at individual businesses. I'm looking at Disney as a whole as to maybe they're the ones who are restricting that. And that's why that's happening. However, for the whole drama with Return of the Jedi, yeah, we should have had something and we didn't. But after last night, staying up, fighting to stay awake, and nothing came out.
Dude, I stayed up till 3 a.m., dude.
Yeah, and I started thinking about it. What if they're actually waiting for every business to do something on May 25th, because on May 25th, 1983 is when Return of the Jedi actually went out in theaters.
Yep.
And maybe that's what they're waiting for, is May 25th.
That's our hope, Sean. That's our hope right there, right? We have a reason to hang in with.
And what day is May 25th, guys? It's a Thursday.
Ooh.
So, however, Thursdays is the highest days that we get releases.
This guy called it not lane. Go below lane.
That's what she said.
Ew, you sound like.
But anyways,
where's the Bacardi at right now?
That's my thought. That's what. Hey, happy birthday, 6.
Hey, Trevor, my birthday is next Friday. 2 May birthdays. I knew I liked you for a reason. Happy birthday. Happy almost birthday to you, Trevor. May 25th, the realest birthday I have ever seen.
Happy early birthdays to everybody.
And Yomo said the 25th is my birthday. Man, bro, everybody's having birthdays. May is the month of gentlemen. May is the month of gentlemen. Real quick, guys, though, I have a goal for tonight. And my goal for tonight, we're talking about Return of the Jedi 40th. My goal for tonight, guys, we have 78 people watching. Thank you so much for being here. I'm blown away by the turnout tonight. Some great conversation. 83 likes, guys, to celebrate Return of the Jedi 40th. We're talking about May 25th, 1983. 83 likes. If you haven't already, guys, please drop a like on the stream. I want 83 likes. Let's celebrate May the 4th. 83 likes on the stream. Exactly 83, not a single over.
He's lying. He wants more than 83.
Not a single over. Leave it at 83. I want it to stay at 83 for historical purposes. 83 likes, guys. So if you haven't already, drop a like on the stream. Of course, if you're not subscribed, subscribe to the channel. I very much appreciate it. But yes, and Jeff's is on Monday, and Derek is. Oh, wow, there's a lot of May birthdays in here. Well, happy birthday, Derek! Yours is a day after mine. My grandmother's is actually on the 10th. A lot of
My
May
wife's
birthdays.
is on May 12th.
Same day as mine.
You're May 12th?
I'm dead serious, dude. That's crazy.
Oof.
That's crazy, dude. That's crazy. Ryan's like, dude, can't get you a gift this year, man. It's like having a birthday on Christmas. I feel bad for people who have birthday on Christmas, because it's like a lot of people, they don't get double presents. They just get what they get. But moving on. Sorry, guys. I'm going off on a tangent here. But yeah, Sean, continue, please. Please continue. Sorry to cut you off.
So anyways, my point is, just looking at it, why we didn't get Mando, though, that's very weird. Because they're usually, before the first season even aired, we had The Mandalorian and we had IG-11 before we saw the first episode, and they were available to order. And with everything else going on, I don't know what to predict or anything. Hot Toys has never really been that predictable anyways. Howard likes to just throw stuff around. And I think the people that are making the comments like, yeah, Hot Toys is just trolling us, I think there's a little bit of truth to that. That Hot Toys is.
Well, yeah, especially after that post they just made, dude, with the Bo-Katan. Everybody's commenting on it like, what the hell? What is this? You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, it's like Howard's sitting there eating popcorn.
Yeah.
And he's like, you want a Han and Chewie 2-pack from Return of the Jedi? The best I can do is a picture of Bo-Katan Kryze signed by Katie Sackhoff.
Right. It's like the best I could do is $30, like a Pawn Stars meme. That's what it is. But Sean, Nate's saying Sean might have something. Last year, Hot Toys released the Bark Speeders and Troopers on May 26th. So maybe. But yeah, Sean, I think that's a great idea. I like that idea. And I do agree. I think Hot Toys definitely has a little fun with us and trolls us sometimes because, again, I don't know if you guys know this. People on the panel, I know you know it, but they haven't updated the banner yet on the Hot Toys page. And you guys know Hot Toys often kind of uses that banner to communicate with us in strange ways. Every time they're done for the day, they update the banner, but it's still Groot. So I find that very interesting. It could mean nothing, but I do find it very interesting.
Usually it means that they're announcing something within 24 hours.
Right, exactly. It's usually like, hey, we're announcing something. Once the last of the week is done, then they update it, So it's very strange that Groot is still up there. And I'm like, Hot Toys, are you talking to us? Are you trolling us? What are you doing? Now I'm like, you're posting photos of Katie Sackhoff signing her Bo-Katan figure. But yeah, guys, that's really, I think, enough covered on that part of the conversation. I want to go back to the question that we asked at the beginning of this conversation, and that's, is there more coming? Again, shout out to Aries from Six Scale Cantina. You guys know and love him. He pointed this out to me earlier today. I couldn't figure out exactly how to do it. I was getting very confused, and I asked Ryan. He's like, dude, I couldn't figure it out either. But apparently, if you're registered for the event and you sort by coming soon for the event, you could see we have the fifth brother, the fourth sister, which those were shown off in the photos from Sideshow, and we'll take a look at those very briefly. You have those two. I've told you guys many times. We've said it many times on the stream. I think those are still coming out, and now they're showing them off again. They're put at the top of the coming soon page. I think that's going to happen. As was mentioned earlier by Ryan, and we had this conversation briefly in the Hot Toys Hotline Facebook chat, TMS 102 and 103, that is Sidious and Fox. So we've skipped over TMS 100 and TMS 101. Could that mean these two right here possibly will be TMS 100, TMS 101? It's possible, guys. I mean, you guys know they like to do, for that rounded 100 number, they like to do something special. I mean, I don't know about you guys on the panel, but TMS 100, does that scream N1 to you? Because that's certainly, to me, I'm like, I could see it.
We'll do process of elimination for a minute. Let's speculate, shall we? We got some time to kill. It sounds like we're riding this train out till at least midnight because I'm falling asleep. I'm yawning, but I'm holding strong here. I'm tired, but Sean, I could use your brain also. Let's just say TMS 100 and one starfighter, right? Okay, cool. Yeah. Let's say eliminate that. Say that's not that. I would assume it being a 100, it should be a fairly big figure in the sense of, like, you know, a grand piece for that. What other items could that be in terms of shows? There's not much out there that there isn't figures for, right? She-Hulk has figures out. Like go through like all the Disney show. Like, what else is there really out there right now that you would capitalize on to make it a 100? And if you say another Mando figure, what from Mando could be better than the N1 as a TMS 100? So I'm hypothesizing for a moment that you remove the N1 from the equation, because there's definitely people out there who's like, it's never going to happen. That's fair. Take it out of the equation. The N1's not happening.
Okay.
What other major TV release could take that spot?
Whatever, I think if it's not the N1, whatever it could be is going to be something for Disney. Because it's 100, and this is the 100th year. Everyone's doing the 100 stuff, so TMS would be 100. If it's not the N1, it's something for Disney.
Yeah.
It's going to be something that's never been teased before, and something we have no idea or expecting on.
Yeah, it's regardless of whether it's the M1 or not, it's going to be something special. Real quick, I want to say what's up to Mafia. Six Scale Mafia is in the chat. Happy May 4th to you, bro. Anthony, go easy on us, dude. We had our conversation about the Return of the Jedi stuff. I saw your post earlier. No roasting, dude. Don't do it. Don't tell me about the expectations. Don't roast us, man. It's good to see you here. I love Bretta's already messing with you, saying no Mafia here, please. And Mafia says, "K, bye." And Trevor's saying we'll get the Slave Leia before the M1. I think Lane might be on your team.
I'd be the opposite on that one.
Oh, okay. So you're not quite that far with it.
Yeah.
You're not quite that far with it.
For price wise that I would buy, it would definitely be the reverse. But yeah, no. I mean, maybe we'll get a N1 with the Slave Leia like marking on the side of it or something.
Yeah, Slave Leia is somewhere over the rainbow. Never happened and never.
All I'm saying is, like, don't get me wrong. I'm sick and tired of talking about the N1. It's either it comes out or it doesn't. It's like,
I know Hot Toys are like, what are you doing to us?
But what I'm
man?
saying is that just to be speculating to kill some time for a conversation, remove the N1 like it's not even a factor. What other viable series would justify a TMS 100 or figure? I would think it's Mando, because we haven't seen anything from Mando. But as Sean's alluding to, you know, Marv, I don't know.
Yeah, it could be.
What TMS show is relevant necessarily right now that you would do a 100, especially because it's the first TMS 100. It's not like it's TMS 200 where they've already done a one. You know, it's like MMS where they've done 7 of them technically. So it's like, all right, they broke the mold from Iron Man and did Darth Vader. I was just thinking it's the first TMS in a brand new line. It's the first 100. I mean, you know.
Pen, come on, Pen. You people with this frog lady stuff. I know Pen's joking, but bro, people want that frog lady. There's a small group of people that want that frog lady.
Connor,
Again,
you'd buy it, so don't even talk.
Well, yeah, I would because my Mando line's so complete. But if it never happened, I would not care. But so many people want that. Trevor, don't you dare give me hope because I want Andor. So
We
Andor
got a
and
second
Luthen.
season of Andor coming.
Andor and Luthen, like if you cut it off at that, I wanted more, but I'll cut it off. Andor and Luthen, bro. When side note real quick, when Luthen got in that ship, and I saw that ship in play, I'm like, dude, this guy is no joke, man. This guy is no joke. And gentleman, Wake says, why would Disney restrict merchandising? I think that's a question for Sean.
I think they might be wanting to build something up. And that's what I really think it is because it doesn't make sense exactly. Why would they restrict it? But why did Kotobukiya only do 2? Why did Sideshow only do 2 art prints? This is the first May the 4th.
Dude,
Sideshow didn't announce
May the 4th was
statue.
weak. Shop Disney, they put up basically nothing. It was weak this year. It really was. Yeah. It really, really was. Because I collect a lot of different stuff, Sean, and I was pretty underwhelmed. I mean, even the May the 4th announcements for the 3.75 scale stuff, it was weak. It really was. It was very weak. So I see what you're saying by that. I was talking to my buddy earlier. We were waiting for all this stuff to drop, and I'm like, that's it? Really? Like Shop Disney, they usually go crazy. They did some stuff, but it was upsetting for sure. There we go. Mafia believes in the M1. There we go. Lane, get out of here, Lane. We get the M1 gangs here. I really do. Yeah. I know you guys have that little thing with Mario. I don't want to say I hope he has to shave his beard, but if it happens, it would be kind of funny.
Yeah, I don't know if I told Mario in chat. I said, "See, it'd be cool to see without your beard, where we could like zap the beard off for a minute, see what you look like, and then zap it back into place."
I'm assuming that would be a live stream, of course.
Suka, the thing is though about I guess you're talking about Slave Leia, right? The thing is though, there haven't even been Slave Leia figures in 3.75 or 6-inch scale recently. So whether there's a restriction or not, it could just be the companies don't want to do it because there's a lot of controversy around the name Slave Leia. That's why they changed it to Hutt Slayer Leia. There's too much. I think there's too much controversy. The companies don't want to touch it, and I could see Hot Toys being one of those companies like I'm not interested. Bretta says Mario beard. This will be epic. I wish I could flip it. And so if Mario has to shave, then if Lane's kind of on his side, then Lane has to finally grow the beard. We used to do the Lane has to grow a beard thing for 50 likes. We kind of dropped that, but Lane, maybe we can make it like a 2-way thing. He shaves, you grow.
No.
Lane's like, absolutely not. One day, Lane, I'll get my wish. But yeah, guys, going back, we kind of got off topic here, but yes, this stuff was updated by Sideshow apparently. Again, shout out to Aries for showing this to me because I could not find it. I felt like an idiot. And Ryan, I'm like, Ryan, can you help me? He's like, dude, I couldn't find it either. So shout out to Aries. I was clicking coming soon after I did the sign up for May the 4th, and I could not get it to show up. But thankfully, I have a screenshot here from Aries. I also find it, again, this is probably not connected at all, but it's very odd timing that the R5D4 set is waitlisted now. Can you imagine that waitlist? And then less than a week later, we get the N1 announced. That would be very interesting for sure. Oilers wants Mars Toys to make the Return of the Jedi. Sexy metal space bikini girl. Dude, I loved his name for Willy Wonka, the Chocolate Man. Gentleman Wake says, why else would Sideshow drop previews of those if they aren't coming soon? Are you talking about these in particular here? I mean, to be fair, Sideshow has done that for years. You can look on the coming soon graveyard, as we like to call it. Ryan did a whole stream on it. We talked about it on Ryan's channel extensively. There's a lot of stuff that they tease, put it on coming soon. Perfect example, my beloved Anakin Starfighter, which we actually got a little bit of a glimmer of hope from Jazz Inc. this morning about an Anakin Starfighter. I've been hoping and praying for that forever, and that's been in the graveyard. There's just a countless. Maz, if Maz was here, he'd be talking about his Ripley with the power loader. But yeah, oftentimes a lot of the coming soon stuff doesn't mean anything. It could just kind of disappear, fall to the wayside, and never happens. Mafia, I am too, actually, because I actually pre-ordered Reva. I pre-ordered the Grand Inquisitor. I got 2 Vaders because I wanted a clean version to go with the Inquisitors and the half-mask Hayden sculpt to go against Obi-Wan. and I had some issues with the show, but being a Rebels fan, I'm like, dude, I got to get some Inquisitors. So I'm actually very interested in these as well. But I know a lot of people are like, dude, are you kidding me? Like Hasbro, they announced their final announcement of 3 for May the 4th was the Grand Inquisitor, and they were getting trolled so hard. So I get it. A lot of people don't care about the Inquisitors. Me personally, I would love to see these just so I can complete my Inquisitor lineup from Kenobi. That's just my personal thought on it. I do think they look really good, though. I think they did a great job. The sculpts all look really good, and I think the tailoring is pretty solid as well. Yeah, Oilers, I think a lot of people are going to support us on that one because that Ripley figure, that's becoming quite a grail, and I think it holds up very well. Shout out to Insane One. He just got his, and I think it looks really good. I think it holds up, but I would love to see that power loader for sure. Yeah, it's been up for over a year, dude. It's been forever. That thing's been on there for a long time. Hot Toys Secret Base just did a post for Marvel fans. Oh, I said I wouldn't talk about anything other than Star Wars, guys.
No, if you talk about Marvel, see, you get kicked out.
I'm not gonna do it. 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 Unless you guys really want me to, I'm not gonna do it. Ian says Power Loader is a must-have. Yes, but guys, we're gonna move on from this again. I find this very interesting that this stuff was shared. I also find it very interesting that the TMS 100 and 101 were skipped. Is that where the N1 fits in? You never know. But moving on, guys, I did want to show this off because Sideshow did post some really nice close-up shots of a lot of these figures that we currently have on pre-order. With the Clone Wars stuff going up today, I'm not surprised that they went back and took photos and videos of some of the older stuff. Yes, today is for Star Wars. I had to stop myself, guys. I had to stop myself. I promise, and I told everybody on the panel, I'm like, we're not talking about anything Marvel. So I had to stop myself, but just wanted to show you guys real quick some great photos. And guys, I mean, dude, I can't wait for this Anakin. This is still, out of like the past like 6 months of announced figures, this is still my favorite head sculpt. I think it looks so good. I love the little baby hairs that they decided to do in the front. I think it looks pretty incredible. There's the Mace Windu. I do think the Mace Windu actually looks much better in this photo here because I think the original prototype photos didn't really do it justice. Of course, we saw some shots from Secret Base that helped it as well. Suka says there's going to be a banking crash if the N1. I don't think it's going to go that far, but what do you guys get hyped up? And by the way, I forgot who asked the question. Here we have a shot of the Stap with the B1 on it. So for those who are curious if they actually did show that, we have confirmation here with it right in our faces. I don't know about you guys. I wouldn't go too crazy on the Stap. I think I would probably grab one and call it a day. I have the Anakin Stap, and I think it's pretty fantastic. I think the paint job's pretty awesome, and it's a smaller vehicle, right? So you can kind of make it work in smaller displays. But I would certainly pick this up myself. And then another one. How many of you guys have pre-ordered the Super Battle Droids yet? Because I've been seeing a lot of people saying like they think this one's going to be the next to go, and I'm kind of right there with them. I'm like, the droids are dropping like flies, so I got to get my order in. I'm gonna grab 2 of the Super Battle Droids, but I don't know. Have you guys ordered yours
I
yet?
have it in my cart right now. I have 2 of them in my cart, so I'm just kind of waiting. I want to pay off 1 or 2 more things, but it goes blue screen instantly. Gonna grab them. So
Yeah, I'm keeping a close eye on it because I'm like, dude, I feel like those are gonna go any day now. And like I said, the droids are just dropping like flies. And Penn says I still need to order Super Battle Droid. Yeah, I think a lot of people were waiting on them. Trying to wait as long as we can, of course, but I don't know.
Because we don't know what else is going to get announced.
I know,
you know, it makes you have to bow. You have to bet. That's one of the things with modern, you know, within the last year or so, kind of we're seeing some of the changes. It makes you you're driven almost a little by fear, a little bit, because also you may want to get them, but you're not sure. But you also might have some other, as you know, Ryan talks about, there might be other priorities, but you're kind of like, you might, like I was prioritizing Return of the Jedi. That was kind of like the movie one. I would probably get a pass on this.
Right.
But since we don't know what's happening with the Return of the Jedi so much, you know, like you said, we don't know how many are totally going to get announced, or do I wait 6 months and stuff like that? Over the next 6 months, they could be announced, like, you know, another 4 figures or 6 figures, or you know, the Attack of the Clones. I've considered, because I love the Super Battle Droids, so I've been kind of like, should I maybe get like I was like, maybe I could get Anakin and Padme, and then one like super battle droid, so I could have them together in like kind of an action.
They're gonna look so. It doesn't. It really, to me, it doesn't really matter how many you get. Like if you get one of each lane, I think they'll all look good together because it's like you're getting basically a complete Attack of the Clones.
Well, I mean,
line.
I could think I could just in my head I could just with one of those guys and then both those other two characters I could just get those three and have a scene with them. You know, since they're from Geonosis and that whole thing, so it wouldn't be that hard for me to. You know, maybe just say maybe I'll pass on a few Return of the Jedi figures, and maybe I'll get those 3 and 6. That way, I also have a Padme and I have a younger Anakin and stuff. Since I have the Clone Wars one, and then I have the half face with the Obi-Wan Darth Vader. So that'll kind of be all the Hayden.
And that one just waitlisted, Lane. That Kenobi Darth Vader just waitlisted. So
so this might be the only Padme we ever get. Unless I do maybe a Queen Amidala, but then she's under all the makeup and all that.
Oh wait, hey, at least we got the third-party one. I did pre-order that. I don't know if you guys know in the chat there is a third-party, and Kid actually put more units up. But yeah, Lane, that I don't know if you remember we talked about that. I don't know if you're on for that stream, but there is a third-party version at least. So I'm like, I'm gonna grab the third party.
But you know what I'm saying? Where like this is a little bit with modern figures, kind of is. I think you could almost find yourself because something like you find yourself pre-ordering figures that come sooner because you have so much uncertainty about the future, but you only have so much shelf space, only so much money. I think we talked about, I know earlier, like, well, with this being waitlisting and stuff, it's going to force us to be a little bit more selective, and we're going to have to figure a line we want to get or something. And then that's it. In some ways it might drive you different. What the heck?
I'm just sorry. I'm just pulling up the bulk of the photos. I somehow I only had like a few of them pulled up. There's that beautiful Attack of the Clones R2. How many of you guys, by the way, in the chat, how many of you guys got your R2 this week? I just got mine yesterday, and it's fantastic, guys. It really is. I can't wait to do a review on it.
Yeah. But I mean, I think it can cause you to go back and forth sometimes now. You're kind of like, especially with that waitlist on me kind of thing or anything. So, it makes it but like the Super Battle Droid, it's a $238 figure. So it's not even like most of this line is not super. It's not like we're talking they're all $350 like that Groot or something, which is a more expensive investment. But, I don't know. That's one thing maybe would help me make more decisions if they announced like 2 more like Return of the Jedi figures and said, hey, this is it. Like, these are the 4. That's the end of the line. I could make my decision up a whole lot easier, or something if I was going to do it or not. But
Elaine, I like when you said you were confused by what I was doing. Stevie said, "What in tarnation?"
Yeah, well, no, it's because you were pulling that up, and I was like, "Wait, is that a return?" At first, I thought you were pulling it up.
Oh, I wish,
like,
dude. I'm pulling up a whole
Return of the Jedi,
I'm
like
pulling up a whole line up there, Lane.
Yeah, Return of the Jedi, like R2 or something like that, and I was almost kind of going, "Really, guys?"
I almost gave you a heart
but
attack.
we've done. Yeah, well, no, I was like, "Really, guys?" But then, of course, I thought back, and I was like, "Yeah, of course." The next, like, I know the next figure that I'm pre-ordering is going to be Wrecker because, like, he's the last one. And I'll have all the bad
so
batch.
Good together, man. I mean, this just makes me like this is one of those situations like it was all worth it. All the money I've pre-ordered them all at this point. I've got Hunter and Echo. I'm like, it was all worth
it. And this is the thing. What's great is they're just the 5. That's the line. Everything what it
Done
is.
Deal.
What they
Done
look
deal.
like.
Done deal.
And it's one team kind of thing. And what's cool is that the whole team can mix in with a whole bunch of different other things. Like you've got Clone Wars, regular clonies, or you've got Rex, or you've got Cody, or you've got any of the Jedi characters. This entire team can mix in with them, no problem. They're versatile. Literally the whole line is versatile. It can go with different stuff.
I would, Big Dog Pound, to answer your question, I would keep an eye out because a lot of the comic shops are already sold out of these guys. Obviously, they have much lower stock. But after I saw them dropping like flies, I went through and pre-ordered the last 2 I had to pre-order.
I don't think
Crosshair is actually already waitlisted, of course.
Yeah, but he was out for a while. He was out.
He was. He certainly was.
I'd be careful jumping the gun on these guys. These guys have only not even been out, I think, barely a month or 5 weeks, maybe a couple months. I think you still got to keep a couple months for these guys yet. before they're going to go.
Yeah, just keep an eye on it, as we always say. Just that's what I like to say. Keep an eye. Don't be rash, but
wish list. Using the wish list function on Sideshow. If there's something you're considering, or you're like Ryan said, you're trying to pay off a couple of things. Like I'm finally going to do record because I just finally paid off tech, except for like 1 penny at my LCS. So now I'm ready to get where I'm going to get record. And like he's absolutely nuts. It's why I haven't pre-ordered C-3PO. It's like I know whatever happens to Return of the Jedi, I have to get record because I already own 2 of the figures and I got 2 of the other ones completely paid for already. So I need to make sure I get it. Finish the line.
Yeah. No, trust me. I'm really excited to finish the line. I can't wait. And I was talking to somebody about this earlier, but they don't often finish the line, so it's very exciting. Mike, I don't know if you bought it from a place where you can get a refund or a replacement, but hopefully you're able to work that out because it sounds like yours has pretty bad QC issues. I've honestly been seeing that a lot more lately. Like QC issues with Hot Toys have been very prevalent for a lot of stuff. So, Oiler said the sheer amount of footage of random people discussing Hot Toys in detail available on the internet is so overwhelming. It's like, yeah, dude, who do you watch? Like, we got 83 people here, and again, I'm blown away, and I appreciate you guys hanging out with us because, again, there's been a lot of discussion. But, yeah, these photos are pretty incredible. This shot here really excited me because, as you could see, our boy, General Kenobi, is here, and I'm very excited for this figure. It's funny, I was talking to Matt, and when we originally saw that teaser photo that we received from Hong Kong for the Commander Fox, we could see his arm in the photo, and Matt was like, is this someone new? I'm like, I was like, that looks like the same Kenobi to me. Of course, it ended up being the same Kenobi, but I just thought that was such a funny conversation we were having because we were speculating so hard. But I think he looks great. And I want to scroll because there was a shot of the Kenobi Vader, or excuse me, the Kenobi Obi-Wan, which obviously we've had a lot of speculation on in terms of the head sculpt because it didn't look too hot. There's our beautiful Scout Trooper Commander, the one that just recently got announced. Penn said easy 2 day 1 pre-order for that. I know, yeah, Penn's not only a Cal Kestis simp and a Cody simp, but also a Obi-Wan Kenobi simp. So the jack of all trades when it comes to simping. There we go. So I wanted to pull this one up to you guys. I want to hear your guys' thoughts on this one. And once again, going back to that comment from Mafia, like, dude, they look so good together. I mean, realistically, if you're not a huge fan, regardless of what you think of the show, they do look really good together. And this is like my ideal display to have them all together. But let me see if there's a more close-up shot of Obi-Wan's face. I feel like there is because I want to hear your guys' thoughts on it after seeing it in the photo. She looks pretty good, man. That sculpt's pretty solid. Again, even if you don't like the show, I think the costume design is pretty fantastic on these. I was thinking the same thing, Stevie. I wanted to ask the panel's thoughts on it because I didn't want to just have my mind tricking me or something. Man, she does look really good. I'm not gonna lie, the sculpt's pretty fantastic on her. There's our favorite fifth brother there with the amazing hat. This one is definitely the most popular in terms of being reminiscent to Rebels Inquisitors. A lot of people are super excited about this one, I think, in that regard, just to fit it into a Rebels display, especially with all the Ahsoka stuff that's going to probably come out from the show, all the figures. I think a lot of people are going to grab this one for that reason. But here we go. I wanted to talk about this because this is our, I know Sean many times likes to call it, Matt Damon. We have many other names for this sculpt.
It looks the same.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's just the lighting, but
I think it's the lighting and just the photo, like the angle which is taken. It looks exactly the same.
Yeah, to me, it just looks better in this photo. I mean, it's still certainly not on par with the Clone Wars Kenobi, but I think it does look better here. I will be honest with you. Is it the weakest of the 3 Kenobi sculpts? Probably still. But that just shows you, I think the lighting especially did a lot of justice to the forehead and hair area. I thought it looked a little bland in the original photos. And of course, the issue that we always have with Obi-Wan is the beard. I don't know if you guys remember this, but the original Revenge of the Sith beard, that was everybody's biggest issue, was the beard. Everybody had so many problems with the Revenge of the Sith Obi-Wan beard, and there was especially the upper lip.
Didn't translate as well as Alice, that wonderful Alice Guinness beard.
No, not at all. Not at all. Stevie Weeby said the cheeks look fat. Yeah, Stevie, that's why I was asking, because I'm like, to me, it looked a little bit improved. But Stevie's like, it could be my glaucoma acting up. Bro, nice. That was so extreme. The second half of that, I didn't even see when I put up the comment. That was so extreme. That was like 0 to 1,000. Does anyone else get big Trouble in Little China vibe from the Fifth Brother design? Maybe. I could see that.
What are the three storms? Yeah, I can see that.
Mike, I think with the Mace sculpt, it's really the lighting. Those original prototype photos were not great. They were not great in terms of lighting the sculpt properly. I never had an issue with it. I don't think the Mace sculpt is a 10 out of 10. Like, the Anakin sculpt to me, that's a 10 out of 10. Like, I don't try to give 10 out of 10s very often, but that sculpt to me is just perfect. I love it so much. The Attack of the Clones Anakin, of course, is what I'm talking about.
Is it just me from like looking at all these though that the one thing in here that looks really out of place is that 501st Legion Clone Trooper?
It does look out of place, but I still really like it. I do really like it.
Well, I have one pre-order.
This sculpt,
yeah,
beautiful.
They did a great job on her head sculpt.
Dude, and the hair, especially the braids in her hair, the little baby hairs underneath it looks so good. Man.
See, I kind of wish that one was seamless on the neck.
So do I.
Yeah, that definitely would have helped.
Yeah.
Grand Inquisitor, fantastic sculpt. It looks really, really good. Yeah, that one was a must-have for me. I love the memeing with him. The hello, standing over like, hey, I'm still here. You thought you killed me.
I've got 5 of the 6 figures on pre-order from this line. Yeah, the only one I didn't get was Reba. I
think a lot of people pass on that one.
Yeah. Which, it is funny is for her character, I originally did not want to see her again necessarily, but I have thought about it more, and I actually hope we do see her in something else where that actress gets another chance to play the character in different circumstances. And, in theory, maybe with a little bit better writing or, not having to work into a project that was originally a movie that probably had tons of rewriting and to be turned into a miniseries. And, I would kind of like to see that, her given a chance to play the character a little bit different and then see what happens, kind of thing. So I kind of want to see that character again.
Yeah.
And something else.
Yeah. And real quick, going back to Ewan McGregor, Mafia said they've never been able to capture Ewan McGregor's likeness. I sold my episode 3 Obi-Wan a long time ago. His proto was much better than before the final. Yeah, I actually do like that sculpt, but I do agree they've never been 100% quite there. I think the closest they've been thus far is that new General Obi-Wan sculpt. Yeah. I think that's definitely a step in the right direction. Of course, that also is one of those like weird transition sculpts where they're kind of adapting a bit of the Clone Wars animated look to live action. So he has that different hair that he didn't necessarily have.
Like with Sidious, what we were talking about.
Exactly.
Earlier.
The same thing.
Weird. Like we see the facial structure, but it's either, like I said, for me, it was the skin tones feel weird in comparison to Ian McDermott himself a lot. But that's why a character like the Grand Inquisitor can transfer over because he's an alien,
Exactly. So exactly. JB says, Kenobi show figures look epic. Shame the writing sucked. Yeah, I mean, they went real hard on the figures. They did a great job. They really did. Mike says, seeing Reva's neck seam makes me happier about their choice to not give Mace rolling eyes so there's no seam. That is true. There's kind of a trade-off there. I mean, I definitely would have liked rolling eyes on Mace because it gives you more options, but there is a bit of a trade-off. But guys, yeah, looking at it, looks like Hot Toys is not going to do anything. I just want to say, guys, we've got 87 people here. Once again, if you haven't already, like the stream and subscribe to the channel. I would very much appreciate it. I very much appreciate you guys hanging out with us tonight. I think that's going to close it out. Unfortunately, I have to work tomorrow. I couldn't take off tomorrow as well. But thank you so much, everybody, for being here and hanging out. Trevor is reminding us that the mix and match deals are pretty good. So, guys, if you haven't already, check out Sideshow. Those mix and match deals. If you're trying to army build or get some older figures, great deals.
They still have that $50 coupon.
And the $50 coupon, I heard it got nerfed, but it's still there.
It worked still. I just tried it on like the Transport Trooper and stuff like that. It still worked on that. Knocked it down to 170. Nice.
And Ian, that is it for now. You never know. I mean, Revenge of the Fifth is still, the night is young, for Revenge of the Fifth. So you never know. Maybe when they're in our slumber on the East Coast here, they'll give us something. But once again, guys, a very happy May the 4th to you all. I know it didn't work out exactly how we had planned. And once again, back to our question that I posed during the middle of the stream, expectations versus reality. I know my expectations were too high specifically for May the 4th, but I still have faith that we will get a decent amount of Return of the Jedi stuff eventually. When that will happen, I don't know. Oh, thank you, Penn, 250. It's okay, Razor Hate. You can catch it on the replay. Thank you so much for hanging out with us and being here. Kinky Sphincter is in the chat. Kinky, it's good to see you, bro. Yeah. On the way out, guys, why not, if you're subscribing and liking the channel, why not send some feet pics along? Ethan says 2 announcements is just sad. I know. I hear y'all, guys. I hear y'all. Goodbye to you, JB. Goodbye to everybody. Thank you so much for being here. Once again, thank you so much for tuning in, guys. This was a different time for us. We usually are on at 7 p.m. I was like, why don't we go on a little bit later? See if we could ride it out. Unfortunately, all we got was a photo of the Ahsoka Tano, the Bo-Katan
Hey, one thing
box,
I would,
so not too exciting, but
one thing I would tell guys, if you're a Star Wars gaming fan, the Kuchek brothers just teased a Darth Revan render that they may be doing a Darth Revan statue.
yeah, there you go. So keep your eyes out for that. Yeah. Yes, Euler says it's midnight and it's 5 for 5. Boo! I know, dude. I know. It is what it is, guys. I'm hanging out here with you all. Thank you all, as always, to our wonderful moderators, Matt, Some Guy, everybody else, everybody in the chat hanging out with us. Thank you so much. Guys, as always, links are in the description for everybody's channels. Please check out Ryan from Mr. Mom Collectibles. He will be doing an awesome stream on Sunday. I don't know if I'll make it on there with him, but I will be there in spirit in the chat hanging out. So please click on the link and check out Ryan. Subscribe to the channel. Thank you so much for being here. As always, Ryan, it's a great stream. And guys, please check out Ryan's channel. I know he's going to have a great stream on Sunday. He's having some great folks on. I know Costa and Aries are going to be on with him. So some great people. It's going to be a really fun discussion, I'm sure. So yeah, link is in the description as always. Of course, check out Sean, the Hot Toys Nightmare. Sean, thank you so much for being here. Sean, the link to your channel is in the description. As always, I suggest everybody please check it out because Sean does some great content. I know he has a lot of cool stuff planned. But thank you sincerely, Sean, for hanging out with us. I know it's a bit late at this point, but thank you for hanging in with us as we wait to see if Hot Toys does anything else for May the 4th as we close out May the 4th.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Take care, Mafia. And guys, you don't need me to tell you this, but check out Six Gun Mafia. Thank you so much for hanging out with us tonight, Anthony, and I hope you have a great night. And happy May the 4th to you as we close out May the 4th.
And if you have any pictures of Brie Larson's feet, please send them to Six Gun Mafia.
Specifically Brie Larson. I love it. I love it. And then, as always, as well, the legendary Lane Kramer hanging out with us in this late night stream tonight. Thank you so much, Lane, a.k.a. the Collector of Midnight now is what we're calling him. Thank you so much for hanging out with us, Lane. We very much appreciate it. And then, as always, guys, thank you, Some Guy, for reminding me. If you haven't already, and I know some of you have been using this code like crazy. Everybody's been using the code, but if you haven't already, one-time use code Hotline for $10 off of your purchase through 16kit. Go support 16kit. Great seller, great prices, and a huge variety of stuff. I highly recommend shopping through 16kit. Again, I don't get any kickbacks, any returns, anything from that code. It's just to save you money. And then, of course, Off the Racks. I mentioned Off the Racks at the beginning of the stream. That's where I got my Purge Trooper from. Again, use code HTH. This is not a one-time use code. You can use it as much as you want. And also with this code, I do not make any kickbacks. This is just a discount for you all. So if you haven't already, 2 great places to buy from, as well as Sideshow, of course. You guys know about Sideshow, but these are 2 places that I personally buy from other than Sideshow that I highly recommend. I very much trust these guys with my business and your business. So go check them out if you want to save a little money. Bretta says, Jesus, what happened? What happened when I wasn't paying attention? What happened? What did I miss? I don't know. I guess the feet pics. Maybe he's talking about the feet pics. Or maybe he's talking about, Bretta's always trolling me, but that's all we got for you guys. Once again, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart for such an amazing stream. Again, hold in there, guys. Hang in there. There's going to be Return of the Jedi stuff coming. There's going to be a little bit of everything. We'll get our Mando stuff, Mando Season 3. We'll get our Return of the Jedi. Don't you worry. It's coming. It's all about patience and setting the proper expectations, which I clearly did not do myself for May the 4th. But, you know, that's part of being a crazy collector like a lot of us are. So, but, guys, I hope you have a wonderful night. Stay safe. If I don't talk to you, have an absolutely wonderful weekend. If you guys are watching the stream on the replay, I hope you guys enjoyed the stream. And once again, guys, 83 likes on your way out. If you haven't already, please like the stream so we get to 83 likes for Return of the Jedi. And subscribe if you haven't already. But that's all we got for you guys. Have a wonderful night, and we will see you next time.
Take care, everybody.